man, I made it just in time. Didn't we work this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, something's going on over here. We'll figure it out. Good morning. Mornings with Matt and Bob, powered by Chuy. Coming off our hot Moon Tower live event. Feel like we've been working all weekend, doesn't it? That's all right, though.
That's all right.
We got more gas in the tank. Mornings with Matt and Bob, powered by Chuy. Let's do today's starting lineup. Everybody's here. We're all in our places with bright, shiny faces, ladies and gentlemen. The man straight ahead, the shiniest face of all. He's the hardest working man in show business. The heavyweight champ in every aspect of his life. And man, you talk about aspects. He does it all. The man from Thrall, our producer, heavyweight champ, food head, shoe head, ladies and gentlemen. The man just drips every morning. His name, Mr. Chuy Eldorado.
Thank you!
Hands together. Everything
Feels
sounds
good.
different over here. I don't know what happened. They put new carpet in and...
What do you want, louder or softer?
Don't mess with it. It's just like I feel like I have to shout to hear myself.
That's wild. Yours is always the only one.
Feels different, too. Sounds different. The man to my right. He's rocking those lizard skin boots today. Oh, yeah, so you know. He's dressed to kill, ladies and gentlemen. He's our, resident star of episodic television. That was in the past. But he's all about the future, ladies and gentlemen. He's a former stand-up comic, though he went out on the boards a couple times this weekend at Moon Tower Comedy, just flexing those comedy muscles, ladies and gentlemen, like some kind of Arnold Schwarzenegger of comedy. That didn't even make any sense. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm kind of tired, so I'll just go ahead and introduce my friend, the marvelous Mr. Matt Bearden.
Thank you. Let me give you a quick introduction of my good friend. He's coming in loud, live, 5x5. Sleeves rolled back from the wrists to the hat, and he's ready to attack, ladies and gentlemen. This city better be ready, because he shows up and was born that way, my friends. Member of the Texas Radio Hall of Fame. He helped build the Irwin Center. They can tear that down, but they can't tear him
so
down, my
sad.
friends. That's right. GSD&M, PM Magazine. Is there anything the man hasn't done along his way to becoming a top radio personality? When I say top, I say, I'm pointing right now. Notice the ratings, my friends. Notice what this man has done.
Well.
Here he is. He's your father. He's my father. He's everybody's Bob father. He's Bob Fonseca.
Thank you. Something happened over the weekend here. I don't know what. Something happened, but I don't hate it. It's just weird. It's just weird. I don't know.
You want me to take a listen with my headphones?
I don't know. Maybe my ears are different. Save headphones.
Your ears changed?
No. I just feel like I've got to really jack my voice up to. It just seems weird. I think it maybe is would they put new carpet out in the hallway?
Yeah, what movie theater had to close down for that to happen?
Now wait a minute. Now stop. We love.
This isn't somebody's house. No one's going to be offended.
We love all. Are those new glasses?
They're about a month old.
I like them. Hey, you haven't worn them in here before, have you?
Worn them a couple times.
Very
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I like that.
They're,
You've gone. You know what you've gone? You've gone. Who was that? Who was that movie producer in the '70s? What was the guy that produced The Godfather? Evans. Robert. You've gone full Bob Evans on us.
They are little Bob Evans.
Nice.
You know what they are?
What?
Well, I was wearing those readers that I was bringing in here for occasionally. But the problem is that when I look up at you guys, you're blurry.
Yeah.
So these are my first ever pair of...
Jacques-Marie Mage?
No, they're progressive lenses.
Oh, progressive. What's the brand? I don't care what they do.
Yeah.
What are you, like, what style
Well,
are you?
my thing is that, I had LASIK. I can see great far away.
Yeah.
That was always my problem. It's just that as I'm aging, I'm needing readers. Anyway, go ahead. You were
I love the
something.
70s style, though. I love.
Wow.
They fit under your. They fit under your caps, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I have to wear a flat brim, because I have these. I don't know what style these
I
are.
think you
These
have to
black frames. I have to wear more
order
of
to
a flat
go
brim.
full on 80s, 70s villain, you have to grow your hair out for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you grow your hair out?
or you just grow out the back and the sides and you have the bald top. That's also kind of 70s look.
Yeah.
You gotta,
I'm
you gotta go full on.
enjoying-
David Koresh. I mean, he was.
Are those David
It's pretty
Koresh
good
glasses?
No,
Well, look up Robert Evans, the guy that produced The Godfather. There was a great documentary about him. Iconic 70s modern.
Oh, I'm not saying you look like this, bro. That's Bob saying that. I think you look like a sexy David Koresh.
Oh, it's not the look, though. One of those pictures down there. Anyway, yeah, sexy David Koresh.
the kid stays in the picture.
It's funny that you brought up the Irwin Center because I was downtown. I had to go to an event at the University of Texas.
Ah, I've heard of that place.
That was
Orange and white
cool.
game?
My son's school, my college, he had a showcase, and I went to see my son's exhibit. But they also had a drone show, and a bunch of kids made video games and things like. It was a fun night, and there was beer too, which shocked me.
Nice.
And I didn't even find the beer table until about an hour after I got there. And I go, wait a minute. I go, it's the University of Texas, and they're giving the moms and dads beer and wine. That's cool. But I don't know why I brought that up.
It's the Unibrewski of
Anyway,
Texas.
I went back. On the way there, I drove past the Irwin Center, and now it's down to the square steel frame.
Yeah. It's weird inside. It's like a weird spider
There's
that
no
lived in
inside
there.
anymore. There's no outside. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that it was based on a shoebox.
I did not realize that the Frank Irwin Center, the big round building out there,
Right.
was just a square building that they had faked an outside to. There's a spider that lived inside of the Irwin Center all this time.
Maybe.
That's what it looks like, because
I know.
it's got 8 legs on it.
Yeah. And it was just like, it's sad to see it. I wish they had just blown it up so I wouldn't have to cry every time, because I have all these memories of working down in the basement there for about 5 years, right next to where they stored the basketball court.
Nice.
Did you know they break up the basketball court in a little,
I thought,
in a little
they made a
cubes?
new one. Yeah.
And then they store it on pallets, and then they take the pallets out and build it for every game. It's weird.
That is weird.
It's modular, I guess was the word you would use, but I had so many memories down there. And now that place is, I guess it's all but done now. They've just got those steel girders left.
Ugh.
Girder.
And I
sorry.
think about all the shows that I saw. What was the best show I ever saw there? Purple Rain?
That's a good
2
one.
nights in a row. I worked one night and went
And
as
then
a
watched one
fan the other night.
I could see that being. Also, you probably didn't even if it was great at the time, you didn't realize how historic that was going to become. Like, that's a pretty good feather
Right.
in the cap you wouldn't have known at the time.
No,
because
all right. You think it would
Prince
just
was
go
really,
on forever.
Prince was really a guy where a lot of us were like, wait a minute. So last summer he puts out Little Red Corvette, and now he's already decided he should be making his own movie?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
It seems so, for some of us, seems so quick.
And everything else. I mean, he did some stuff after that. It was cool, like When Doves Cry and 1999 and stuff like that. But it was kind of a downhill slide. From the next thing you knew, he was selling albums at Walmart and Target exclusives, and just really couldn't get into his later career.
You're saying you
Except
couldn't.
Get Off.
Get on.
Get Off was good. 24 hours in a one night stand, or whatever the lyrics were on that.
Positions.
I think once he left
24 positions? Is that what he was singing?
I think it was 23.
23 positions in a one.
positions in a one-night stand. I think that part of it, too, was that he left the industry, and he became his own producer and his own label and all that, and we've always talked about it. Sometimes you need a no guy.
Yeah.
So he was putting out full on what he felt was his art.
And changing
Which is
his
good for him.
brand, changing his name. Remember when he was the artist formerly known as?
Of course I remember. And then he was just a symbol.
Then he was
And then he got very religious for a while, and there was a lot going on there.
And then he had the thing where he had that third eye thing going. You ever see that album cover?
He's a man.
Anyway, can't fault him. He was a trailblazer. What was another good show I saw? I mean, there's so many, but I mean, all the Tom Petty, all the Springsteen shows I saw, the Tom Petty
I think one of
shows
my
I saw there.
favorites was there. The Kanye Life of Pablo tour.
Oh, really?
So good.
Yeah. I didn't go much there in the last decade or so, except when Liz would call me and say,
Gonna miss
hey,
it.
why don't you join us in the burnt orange room.
We're gonna miss
or whatever that was called, that little lounge area.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, we're going to miss it. I mean, the Normo Dome, excuse me. I never name it by name because they got mad at me once. I don't get the same feels sometimes.
Sorry, man.
But maybe. The Moody feels like it might be disposable. Like it might be 10 years and then they'll demolish that and build something, whatever,
Why
every
that?
city will probably have a sphere of some kind.
Oh, you think that the sphere is the new thing?
Yeah.
So it will be moving away from
Right.
any kind of performance
Because
spaces that aren't.
I'd like to see a
all
cube.
all the seats are plastic and all that. Mm-hmm. By the way, did you see some of the visuals from the Fish
Looked
residency?
incredible, dude.
Looked pretty incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I know that
forget the music.
I know that you love to make fun of the Fish, and I love to make fun of Fish's fans. I don't have a problem with the band. I just like to tease their fans. But those visuals, did you see where the band opened? Did you see that?
No, I'm
very
trying not to see too much in case I might want to go.
From the very first strum.
No.
It's just like
You gotta wear sandals.
It's jet black inside, and all of a sudden they bam into the
Yeah.
music, and the sky essentially opens up and starts just dripping, like tie-dye down on
I
the
know.
It looked amazing. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, this could be fun.
But
This
it's a
could be
real
fun.
limited run. I don't know how many shows
2
they're
days, I
gonna do.
believe. That was just 2 shows, I think.
Pink Floyd better get back together.
Somebody
They got to
better
get
back
over
together.
themselves and put. They got to get over themselves and put something in the sphere.
Well, how can we start a campaign?
for us to be in there?
No, I don't see a campaign. Like, we could be the guy, like, oh, there's this show in Austin, Texas that's demanding that Pink Floyd reunite.
I don't know.
We could be the guys that, like, spearhead
You gotta
that.
offer them money.
If we did a live show in there, we would just fill the whole sphere.
With sadness?
No, with food photos from. Could you imagine if we put all the photos, saved photos on Instagram on Chuy's phone? So it would just be booties and ribs floating around.
That's it. Just the ripple effect, because I didn't learn how to do any of the other stuff.
That'd be so awesome.
So awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can start a petition. I don't know that it works because those are 2 grown men who do not
Well,
like...
they're beyond grown. I mean, what's Roger's 80? Right? Or he's 80, isn't he?
Is he? He may be.
It's beyond that. I mean, I maybe physically can't do it, though. We just saw
We
Roger
just saw
last
Roger
year.
Waters, and that show we saw with Roger Waters was one of the best shows,
I've seen it
rock and roll
yeah.
shows I've seen.
Politics
from anyone.
aside and all the weirdness, he put on a production. My wife said Madonna was good. She said that show had a lot of slamming production.
Did it?
Yeah, that's what she said. She said she couldn't believe it herself because we predicted that it was going to be
A real flopper?
a real S show. But
She said it's pretty good.
anyway, well, I love what they've done with the place here, and just puts a big smile on my face every morning when I come down the hallways. See freshly painted walls and new carpet.
Nice.
All right. Well, there you go. Let's get into this.
That's where we started. That's where we ended. We'll recap the big show today. Anything else special? Giveaways? Probably got some giveaways.
We do have big giveaways all this week. Do you remember what those are, Chewy?
Big ones.
I remember
Big,
last
huge.
week they approached us and they said, hey, guys, you have both of these big giveaways this week. And I said, oh, those are both exciting. And we're going to let you know what they are in 2 minutes because we got to look that email back
giveaways.
up. We got to look that email up again.
Huge. Big
Lean
mistake.
into it, Monday.
Big.
It is click, boom time, ladies and gentlemen. And today I picked out something special just for the gang. It's the top book boyfriends, including boyfriends from The Notebook, from the Twilight series, 50 Shades. We're going to get into it. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Oh, I'm ready.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. Instead, we're going to do 10 deaths that are too embarrassing to even live through. That seems way better, don't you think?
Yeah. Obviously, the David Carradine, right?
Yeah. We can get into it, but there's going to be some good stuff in here, I think. Let's see. Does she talk about it right here?
This time period when I got a call that
Okay. Do you want to hear about Kirstie Alley's father's death?
Oh, man. It's going to make me more sad for... I'm sad for her for some reason. I
Why?
can't know- I don't know-
Now, why are you sad for Kirstie Alley?
I don't know why. I feel like Wasn't there a campaign for us to be sad for her for some reason?
To be sad for her?
I don't know. I just think I'm supposed to be sad for her.
I think this is an interview where she talks about her father's death.
Uh-huh.
Kirstie Alley, if you don't remember, is probably most famous for she took over for Shelley Long when Shelley Long left Cheers. And
hey, I like the Kirstie Alley years on Cheers.
Yeah, this is Kirstie Alley's mom died. Well, let's get into it, okay?
Oh boy.
Because this did not age well. It might have seemed, maybe it seemed funny at the time. You know, we change, and what is considered to be socially acceptable changes over
I
time.
better not laugh.
You better not laugh because you'll get in trouble. But here's Kirstie Alley during an interview with Barbara Walters talking about her mother's death, okay?
First of all, you have to know that my mother was a very funny person. She and I were a little bit like oil and water. Didn't mix too well. She was a very funny person. So anyway, I got this phone call. My sister called me, and I was in Los Angeles, and said, Mom and Dad have been in a car wreck, and Mother is dead. And Dad is dying. And I, of course, was falling apart. But all I knew was I had to get there. And I got there, and my sister and I, we were all sitting in this waiting room, and we were sobbing. And as I'm crying, I said, my sister's here, and I wasn't looking at her, but I said, where were they going? And she said, to a Halloween party. And I said, what were they dressed as? Why would you ask this? Why would you? And she said, The Odd Couple. And I said, oh, I'm thinking, what odd couple? Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon? Well, what were their costumes exactly? She said, Mom was a black girl and Dad was a Ku Klux Klan member.
No good?
Why?
No good?
Why did this come out again?
Because these are the most embarrassing. The death's too embarrassing to be believed. Her mother died while she was dressed in blackface.
Oh, boy.
Boy, yeah. That's embarrassing.
No?
And I guess, I don't know, but then you're dead, so.
That's number 10. I don't even know where we're going next if that's number 10.
That's number 10. We're working our way up from there.
I really like these.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice, intimate moment with the stars.
With Baba Wall.
I will say that blackface was treated much differently. This has to be, I'm looking at her haircut. This is what, late 80s? Like 88, 89 maybe? And
why even put that in the interview, though? I think I left it at The Odd Couple.
Look.
And moved on. But
why?
Baba Wawa could get...
This is when
she
Ted
could get
Danson,
everything out
people
of it.
were,
Danson did
people
blackface,
wore,
I think, then.
people
that's true.
regularly wore blackface in the 80s.
Ugh. It never once to cross my mind. And I went to a lot of parties
Now,
in the 80s.
Blackface started as a way to insult black people. Then blackface, I mean, some people may have still continued that,
I think it ended that way, too.
No, it was also a show business thing.
No, it was a
30s,
thing that was done,
it?
that people did meta all the time. Like this kind of thing. I'm going to dress as a Klansman, but I don't think...
Kind of like edgelords, I guess, that were kind of...
No, they weren't doing it as edgelords
They weren't
either.
trying to be edgy. They were just, this is fun. I'm going to put blackface
It was not considered edgy. I'm trying to put you in the mindsets of what our country was just 40 years ago, 30 years ago. It was like, it's funny.
Maybe the Soul Man movie was meant for that. I think everyone else was just edge. I think maybe Stern did. Who knows? Some other radio host people.
It usually was done I remember toward the end, it was done as a way to thumb your nose at racists. But then black people came along and said, hey, could you do us a favor? That's fun and all that you want to thumb your nose at racists, but we're actually still just people. Could we maybe consider that? Maybe that's more important, people, than your ability to make a joke. Mm-hmm. And that's what started the idea of you should never do blackface. But it wasn't until the mid 90s that people even started discussing that, hey, maybe this 100 years of blackface is seen its better days, and we should fold it up and put it away.
Well, maybe it died with Kirstie Alley's parents that day.
Serial killer Bruce Lindahl died. He's are you familiar with Bruce Lindahl? He's a serial.
Does he have a middle name? Usually serial killers have a middle name.
And that's why we don't know him, because he was a serial killer in the 1970s and 1980s in Illinois. It's believed he claimed at least 12 victims. He could be responsible for dozens more, as well as numerous sexual assaults.
Well, that's awful.
It says it's surprising more people don't know his name, since Western culture does elevate many of these prolific killers to kind of mythical status. Part of the reason Lindahl's lack of notoriety may be how his career ended. No big police bust, no sensational trial. Instead, in April of 1981, Lindahl went to a home with a guy and murdered him. He attacked his victim, Charles Huber, and stabbed him 28 times. Lindahl was so wrapped up in the act of killing this man that he wasn't able to control his knife as his victim would struggle to survive, and he ended up stabbing his own self in the leg. The cut went through his femoral artery, and he bled out and was found dead next to his victim.
That's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
You're a serial killer. You killed yourself. That's why they can't pin him to a lot of these other things, because they can't get him to say yes or no to other murders he committed, because he died. He died at the scene of his final crime.
We only have that artery here on the left leg. Is that what it is?
I think, is it only in the left leg?
I don't know. It's on both of them, right?
I would think. I mean,
How far does it go down?
I feel like we should have an artery in both limbs, don't you? Have one in both limbs, all four limbs, actually. We have four limbs.
One might be thicker or something. I don't know.
Oh, you mean like how we have one testicle that's bigger than the other?
I have no idea. I don't even want to know.
You don't ever touch your testicles to see which one's the bigger one?
I never go there. I just like...
Remember that Pearl Jam song? Can't find the bigger egg. No? At number 8, Troy Leon Gregg. See, he had a middle name, so you know he's a good criminal. He escaped death row. He's a prisoner on death row. And imagine that. Imagine how hard it has to be to escape death row, right? In July 1980, Gregg and 3 others dressed like guards managed to escape prison. He escaped death row. He cheated death. He knew for a fact which day he was going to die. He avoided it. And not a lot of people can say that, right? And he gets out to celebrate breaking out of prison. He went to a bar with his fellow escapees literally hours after breaking loose. And he got into a fight at the bar. And he died in a bar fight.
I like that.
Hours after
I really
escaping.
like that one.
Now, what happens when you
prison.
escape? Does that reset the death penalty?
No, I
Why
think
they tack on more charges to you for escaping? Or do they just take you right? It seems like everything would have to reset.
in Monopoly you just start right at the go again.
Like
Yeah,
they couldn't just put you in the take you back and put you in the chair that day.
Well, no, they'd have to take you back and what do you reset? I don't.
Wouldn't you have a new trial or anything?
No, you don't have a new trial.
Well, I
They'd
don't
probably
know.
add on. They'd probably have an internal trial, and they'd add on escaping. And I'm sure there's more years you have to.
I don't know.
Anyway, this should take care of us for the next 2 days as well.
boy.
That was today's
It's dark. Can we just talk about
click,
music?
Boom. We can talk about music.
This
Bob,
segment brought to you by
what happened? Bob Fonseca, thank you very much for arranging to have Melissa Barrera be one of our guests on our live
I feel like we
panel.
had a big name, you know. I feel like
It was.
They had Sarah Silverman at the Paramount Saturday night.
They
and
did?
We had
Where'd you hear that?
I saw it on the marquee when I walked up to the building. When I walked up to our venue.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
She wasn't even listed. That must have been a surprise.
I think it was, and it had another name too, another comic. And I go, wow, we're big time. We're performing the same day as Sarah Silverman. But Melissa had a good time. We went out to dinner.
Where'd y'all go? Didn't invite me.
Well, it was way down south. And I know you don't like to come below the river there. You don't like to go below the river. So, and I didn't organize. I actually, like, we were with a group of people, and I actually was by myself. It was kind of
your real friend.
kind of the saddest thing, because I left that great show just like walking in the rain by myself down Congress.
Yeah.
Go, like, no fan, like, you're just doing a show in front of a few hundred people, and then everybody leaves. My wife left, all my friends left, and I'm like, okay, leaving now. I'm just going to walk sad down Congress in the rain to my car. And
That's the tears of a clown, my man.
it really is, right? You've probably experienced that a million times.
Well, I wouldn't say a million, but certainly 1,000 times. I've, I can.
No congratulations.
I can remember leaving like New Year's Eve shows where it's been sold out and everyone has their New Year's Eve kiss or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it's all done, and then you just walk out to your car and drive back to the condo.
And I had a black plastic bag with my stuff in,
Yeah.
my hair
Yeah.
stuff and my extra shirt, and I'm just walking down Congress like a hobo after a successful show. It's like, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Bob Fonseca.
Bob Fonseca, who?
That's showbiz.
I left, and as I was leaving, said goodbye to a couple of people, and then Sawyer was there, and he was like, hey, can you, because not raining, just a little drizzle. And he's like, hey, could you give me a lift to the next venue so I don't have to walk all the way? And I said, sure. I'm literally parked right behind the building here. And we walk back, and as we're getting into the truck, I go, Jesus, it must be 420. Because the warm smell of Calita, I mean, just a very potent smell of marijuana was in the air.
Yeah.
And even Sawyer remarked, and he was like, wow, that's really...
Even Sawyer.
And he goes, that's really strong. And I was like, it is. And we got in my truck, and as I started to pull out, I go, oh, that's Chuy's car in front of us. And we pulled up alongside, and the window comes down, and smoke is pouring out.
It was just like the gin and juice video.
And Chuy is sitting undercover Chuy is sitting in the front seat, and there's two ladies in the car with him smoking away.
Well, those are friends of all of ours.
dog.
You dirty dog.
It was a good 420. We smoked out a lot of people. Even on, I don't know if we can bring it up, but on stage is what made me nervous still.
Well,
I
and
feel
then
like we're going to get a letter.
Guess who we ran into at dinner?
who'd you run into at dinner?
Turk Pipkin. Of course, you always run into Turk Pipkin in a random
where did you guys go?
Restaurant. We went to a place on Cuernavaca called the Italian place, Patrici's. Really good.
Oh, I didn't realize it was out on
What?
Cuernavaca.
They have one on-
Patrici's is incredible.
Yeah, it's good.
I've been wanting to go there.
Oh, well, let's go. We'll come.
No,
you
I mean,
won't
I
ever
wanted to
come
go
to my
there.
hood, man.
I would have went.
It's a friend of mine from high school that opened that restaurant.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Incredible.
They treat you well. The bar is great. They got signature drinks and pizza's good. The Cacio de Pepe may be the best in the city.
I'm glad they're
Really?
finally getting a home run because they opened one restaurant, then they went into catering because the restaurant where they opened it just was not the right area at the time. It would be now, and then they went into the trade. Those are some people who worked their asses off.
It was just fitting that Turk just pops in. Anyway, I'm sorry, Chuy. I should have invited you, but I didn't.
Well, it's
That's
okay.
okay.
I saw
Anyway.
Chuy, and then we decided to all go to the Texas chili parlor because it was kind of rainy and chilly.
Melissa told me she had a fantastic time.
Great.
And her husband had a big smile on his face.
Javier the butcher.
Javier the butcher. He had a great. Oh, I got to bring you some. He gave me a package of cecina to give to you.
Oh, I love
jerky.
that. Yeah.
The jerky he makes.
Yeah,
oh my
he's cool.
God.
I didn't get to talk to him
It's
a
so
lot.
good. I ate half a bag last night.
I'd love to hang out with him.
Yeah. Well, we'll get something going.
Yeah.
They had a wonderful time, and I had a bunch of friends that, I think I sold 20 tickets.
Nice.
Just myself.
Nice.
I see why y'all get along. I think y'all are all very straight-laced people.
Wow. I would never throw fists at you like that, dude. I
Is
don't
that
know
an
what's
insult?
happening.
I thought you wanted to be that.
Wow.
I'm a rebel. I'm street. I can't do that.
You think a guy who calls himself Cool Bob wants to be straight-laced?
Did you
Well,
not see the T-shirt I was wearing? I was hip, dude. I had my Bob Marley T-shirt on.
I wish the cop
For
would have pulled
420.
you over. All right, Mr. Marley, hop out.
I think we all saw that.
Y'all smell like CBD.
Matt and I were on the email chain yesterday, breaking down the show. We are so insecure. How many of these things have we done now?
10.
A couple dozen?
Yes.
I'm insecure of my performance. I didn't. I just
I
went
was
there and
like,
sweated.
You started. I was going to write to you about the same time you hit me up, going, "Hey man, I'm sorry. What like we could?" And I go, "No, I thought I was flat." Because all during dinner, I'm questioning everybody. I go, "I'm sorry. I apologize. I felt a little. I was a little off though.
I felt the same way.
I had a headache all day. Like I don't know if it was what it was, but I was a little under the weather. Mm-hmm. Once the adrenaline kicked in, you don't think about it. But
I think I'm going to try to do a season of like some stage work and stuff to get better at it, because it's completely different than radio.
Yeah.
You can't just throw a quick line in there because it's all a presentation.
No, and it was a different. I'm not. We're not used to having monitors straight in front of us, are we?
Well, we've never had monitors with
When we
monitors.
do the comedy club, we don't.
The sound was a little different, but I mean, you have to have.
And
Everything was
my
perfect
voice
there.
was but I felt like when I talked, my voice was blast. If you notice, I locked up a couple times because I was like, my voice was just blasting back into my face.
I liked it. It helped me.
You don't like being blasted in the face?
No, I do not. And
Please.
you can put that on my
Tombstone?
It felt like
the
wearing headphones.
back cover of my book or whatever. But
Well, I appreciate all
a couple times I was like, "Am I distorting? Why is it ringing when I talk?" You know.
I appreciate all the listeners for coming on. I'm sorry to the. I did internalize
That's a good
it.
crowd,
when
right?
Well, yeah, but that woman in the front got upset with us and then left.
Yeah, I
And
thought about that for a
Why
little
did she
bit.
leave?
She did not like that we were smoking weed on stage.
It wasn't
She-
weed. It was CBD.
It wasn't-
I even said it was legal.
It wasn't the
didn't I?
people from Detroit, was it?
Yeah. That one woman got upset with us and she walked out. Then I noticed that the guy she was with, he kind of was giving me a look, and I think they felt like we were going to blow THC. It wasn't what it was. It was stage weed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like prop weed.
Yeah.
And but I think she felt like she was going to come up and
I didn't see that.
she turned when that started happening. She was just, and I saw her getting angry, and then she
I thought
left.
she went to the restroom or
So
something.
they came all the way from Detroit to Austin to have a good time.
Well, they probably. I mean, they had plenty of other shows that would have worked.
and they sat in the front row.
They wanted a good, wholesome family time. And what did we do them?
You
What did
can't
we do
We
them?
did 'em
please
dirty.
all the people all the time.
All right. We became Woodstock Day 2.
Did you talk to anyone? Did you talk with anyone from Moon Tower? Were they happy?
I didn't see anybody from Moon Tower. We just packed up. We said goodbye to Melissa, and I went down to talk to stage crew, Alec, who was running our sound, and Tyrone, who was our house manager. And I wanted to thank them for everything they did. Dustin was helping us, and he helped us switch the stage when we got there. So I went and said my thanks to all of them, and then bumped into Sawyer on the way out.
Why are our brains
That was the chili
broken
party.
though that we can't just like celebrate, pat ourselves in the back, go, instead of like all day Sunday breaking it down and going.
I think once you raise the bar for yourself, you only see that
It's not like we-
tippy top, and if you don't hit it,
All right, give us a letter grade. I would like to
You don't
hear.
want me
I
to-
would like
I'm
to
hard on
hear.
myself, so-
I would like to hear from the listeners.
We could do that later.
Yeah, but just what their impression was.
I would. The thing about that one where I think we all felt off is that it's not a room that we control. We can control
Right.
Cap City, and we would put stuff out early. We would do, we know those staff, and then we also have our fans. So because of badges, they let badges in early. So the first 3 rows of the show on this past Saturday were filled with people who had no idea who we were.
Right.
So the instant connection we usually have with the front of the building was not there. We had to work that first 3 rows to kind of get them interested. And that's where I was like, that's where I said, oh, that's bad. I should have planned something for us at the beginning to let people know more about who we are and what we do. And to get those
See,
people
now
on
here
board.
you go. Right? Here you go, criticizing.
I'm not criticizing. It's constructive criticism. It'll make us better each and every time.
I guess so. I say
us better each
screw,
and
I
every
screw
time.
the people that aren't from here.
let's hear from Mr. Schultz real fast.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, guys, I didn't get to see your show because I was seeing Sarah Sherman.
Oh,
and
Sarah
Chloe
Sherman.
Steinman.
Oh,
Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Yes.
When did they fix the sign?
Well done, Bob. Those are ladies from Saturday Night Live. Is that correct?
Yes, they were great.
Okay. Well,
How did I there's no way I would have misread that.
You
even
had a lot on
before-
your mind.
It was the sign. The sign messed up.
The sign probably made a
I'm sure
mistake,
it
Bob.
changed. I'm sure it
It
changed.
might have
Yeah.
messed up.
Probably some young kid put the wrong thing out there.
Thank you, Mr.
I'm
Schultz.
wondering now.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Because I swear I saw Silverman clear as day.
I'm sure
was.
you probably
It
did.
was.
There's a lot of stuff where our brains tell us things that we're not prepared for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we know that guy is wrong and trolling. You know,
No, I think that guy's right because I would have noticed if Sarah Silverman
I believe you, Bo.
was there.
Well, anyway, we had a show the same night as some SNLers, so that was cool.
We did.
You know, the guy at Starbucks this morning said, "Hey, Bob, who made the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?" And I said, "Hey, bro, you got to wait till the Rock and Roll News." I'm not giving that up for free. Now hand me my upside down latte with a chai chia seed thing. Purple haze. Well, have you heard the news? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees are here.
I report the news. That's what I do.
It's Bob Fonseca's Rock and Roll News.
What a great day to be alive in the world of rock and roll. So much stuff is happening. Oh, my. Oh, my. You know, we were so busy with our own show, you know, which was kind of rock and roll in its own right, I think. I didn't even notice this until I jumped on the Rock and Roll News Wire today. We got a little machine. I pushed Todd Jeffries aside. I said, hey, man. I went back to the newsroom.
You're strong.
I got to get some rock and roll news. And then I got it, and then I, ripped it off the machine, and there they were, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio, the inductees just named after the, did the audience vote?
No, it goes to there's a triumvirate.
Yeah.
People, it's the same.
It's the same three guys. It's
like our
Clive Davis, Jimmy Iovine, and Dr. Dre.
It's kind of like our political process where our vote doesn't really matter.
It's the electoral
three same
college.
people.
Right.
Do you remember Return to Planet of the Apes, where there's those aliens that don't move their mouths that speak just using their minds? They're the ones that do the voting on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, I think rock and roll was now you're gonna get some rhythm and blues and some hip hop and some questionable calls here, but I think rock and roll was pretty well represented in this one, with one exception. People are gonna ask me.
What are they going to ask?
When I'm out on the highways and byways today, because I'm Rock's last great reporter. Did I introduce myself, by the way?
I don't know if you did.
I'm Bob Fonseca. I'm Rock's last great reporter.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
How can I say that with such confidence? Well, because Jody, he went jazz.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something happened to him. And then, Andy went Hollywood. He doesn't hang around with the
No, him and Billy
little
Bob
people
Thornton.
anymore.
Yeah.
He's hanging out with Billy Bob and Willie. So I'm left holding the bag, Wasn't happy about it, but you know what? I said, I'm going to put my big boy pants on and be the Rock's last great reporter.
Like a single mother you
All right,
are.
so here we go. The inductees are in. The current crop, as they like to say, of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. This is final. We can't change it. Don't try.
Nobody's saying
Once
anything.
they've locked it. Do we have a sound to lock in the...
Sure. Here about
Okay.
this. Let's do this one. Ready?
Yeah. All right, they're
That's all
locked
I got.
in. There
Sorry.
you go. We can't change them. A diverse group of inductees who all broke down musical barriers and influenced countless artists that followed in their footsteps. And we'll have maybe discussions later on in the show. We can dive in a little deeper, but let's just go through the names, okay? Mary J. Blige. Chuy, you're a fan?
Yes, American Treasure.
Worthy? Not worthy.
Worthy.
Okay. I will defer to you, and I will also say worthy. Matt?
Is this her first ballot? I thought this
I
was her
can't
first
name one
ballot,
song,
and I did not
but-
know that she would get in first ballot. I'll be honest with you.
I don't know.
Don't bring your hateration in this.
What's
game.
It's not hateration.
What's a song?
No drama?
Don't know it.
I can't be without you, baby.
Was she in a band? But was she in TLC or something?
It was also You're All
She started as a solo artist?
I Need
Okay.
and Not Gonna Cry.
Now, some people may argue with this, but this person, the next person I'm going to name, was actually one of the Wrecking Crew. She made her bones. She cut her teeth early on as a young person singing background vocals for many songs you heard back in the day as part of the Wrecking Crew in L.A. And then she went on to have a fabulous solo. Of course, she married, right? Another famous, popular performer who was also in the Wrecking Crew, played a lot of rhythm, percussion and stuff for the Wrecking Crew, and probably did background vocals as well, and then became a name in his own right, and together they created a bigger name. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Oh,
Sonny and Cher?
Sonny and Cher.
Okay.
Cher made it in.
I don't think anybody's going to argue with Cher.
I don't think anybody's going to argue with Cher.
She's
going
somebody
in.
who
She's-
elevated herself and reached a high pinnacle there.
Who can ever forget the music video of her straddling that.
It was uncomfortable. It wasn't a good
straddling
video.
that.
Let's not go back
What
there.
size gun was that?
Don't make us relive it.
Yeah.
What size
It was
gun was that?
uncomfortable, I think, for some of us.
I thought it was very
There was no
cool.
reason she needed to do that.
I thought it was very cool. All right,
Well,
number.
who can ever forget Cher
All right.
in that movie Mask?
Let's go around the
Oh,
room.
man.
Worthy, not worthy.
Cher?
I say worthy.
I say worthy.
Yeah, I guess she's historic. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's like half worthy from Cher. All right, here we go. Now this is going to be a controversial one. This guy has never.
She landed top 10 hits in, I think, 4 separate decades. I mean, that's worth
The
something.
only song I like is the one that was at the end of, Do You Believe Love
Boy,
that.
but she was good in Moonstruck, though.
I'll dance to that one.
You're not a big fan of gypsies, tramps, and thieves.
No.
How about half-breed? Bum,
No.
bum, ba-da-dum, bum,
And did she do I Got You, Babe? Was she the first one to do
I
that?
Got
That
You,
was
babe.
Sonny and
Yeah.
Cher. That
Okay.
was Sonny and
I'm
Cher.
cool. Those two
I
are
think
solid.
they're already in. All right. Here we go. This one's going to be, well, for me, it's a little controversial because this guy's music has never really resonated with. I tried. I had that first album, Under the.
Who is it? Don't
Under
make me
the
mad.
Tree and Dreaming. What
Yeah,
was that
that's
one
the
called?
second album.
The one with the Ferris wheel on it?
Yeah, that's the second album.
I tried, man.
You're talking about pom, 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 pom.
All right, Dave. Despite themselves and despite the fact that they dropped a bunch of sewage on top of innocent, ordinary people. Where was that? In Chicago? Remember when they dumped their RV sewage off a bridge?
Yeah, that was in Chicago. They were trying to turn the river green for.
Well, no, they didn't. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame didn't hold it against them, and Dave Matthews Band somehow made it in.
Can we be honest? What our biggest anger, all of us, the biggest problem everybody has with Dave Matthews is the same, which is that they encouraged like finance bros to dance, okay? And I don't have a problem with a finance bro existing. We need finance.
But
when I got to watch you dance, it becomes very uncomfortable,
Very
right?
uncomfortable.
6 or 7 uncomfortable finance bros
At a corporate
dancing
event.
together. Whole, you know what I mean? They all have that same North Face fleece on, and they're kind of
they got the
bobbing their
Travis
heads.
Mathis.
Yeah, and that's where we get uncomfortable, is that they somehow made music for those dudes, and those dudes need music. Everybody needs music.
Everybody needs something.
But
to live for.
when you watch those guys dance
Well,
somewhere, you go, oh
my.
Jesus Christ, what's happened to rock and roll?
I'll tell you what, though, Dave Matthews fans they'll fight you. They're not violent people, but I mean they
Still
are
not a threat.
But they're fans. Like they love the Dave Matthews. And my friend, the late Andrew Shapter, a fantastic photographer and filmmaker, and I miss him so much, tried to get me in. We had a deal. Mm-hmm. He would go to a Springsteen show with me if I would go to a Dave Matthews show with him later on. So I took him to the Springsteen show, and I said, hey, bro, yeah, I'm not going to live up to the second part of this deal. and I never went to a Dave Matthews show with him. And I feel horrible for that because he's not here anymore, and I miss him. And we would have had a good time. He wanted to take me to Red Rocks because you got to see. I feel like you have to go to Red Rocks.
We should
to see the Dave Matthews Band.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, not Dave Matthews. I didn't know you were going to finish that sentence.
All right, now this one.
Well, wherever Andrew Shapter is in the universe, I will have one message for him.
Yeah.
Don't drink the water. Don't drink the water.
All right, the next one I think no one's going to argue. There was a big campaign of all the rock stars from
Foreigner, right?
From Paul McCartney on down. The guys that say, hey, I got a fever of 103, check it and see. They're hot-blooded. They're cold as ice. They're both, right? And everything in between. Foreigner has made it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and frankly, they should have been there decades ago. Don't you think? They've been around.
Sure.
As long as Bad Company. I felt like Bad Company and Foreigner came out in the same year. Very similar bands, I think. But
there's all these bands that all I know about them is that there were these bands that I considered to be grown-ups bands when I would go to Target to look at the music section.
Yeah.
There was the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Foreigner, Super Tramp. There's all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's the bands where it's like, I don't know what any of these people do or play because they're not on the top
They're-
40 countdown and they're not
faceless.
on MTV.
Right.
So they didn't matter to me as a kid.
Right, I agree. All right, the next one I think we can all agree with, too. He's already got one of those little trophies. I don't know what they even give you. He was in for being part of what? Humble Pie, maybe? How did he get in before?
We don't know. You haven't named it.
Well, I'm talking about
Peter Frampton.
Yeah, Peter Frampton. He's coming alive at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's in again. I believe he's been in under a group.
I hope his guitar gives the speech.
I want to thank you for this. Thank you.
Didn't he have a song called "I'm in You, You're in Me" or something?
Whoa.
Gross.
I know. All right, now I have no problem with the next one. Technically, maybe not rock and roll, but I don't know a band that rocks harder than this one. I got to interview Robert Cool Bell back in the 80s for a magazine article.
Cool and the Gang?
Cool and the Gang. Can we get a little Hollywood swinging up here, Chewy?
Hollywood.
Can you give me a little Hollywood swinging?
I think so.
Man, one of the best. Listen, they brought cool music to
Yeah.
fraternities everywhere. If Dave Matthews Band brought music to the bro dudes in finance, the Cool and the Gang brought funk to the frat houses. Oh my God, Hollywood! Saw him many times live.
Do you think when they pick up their award, they'll make sure to thank George Clinton and the P-Funk All-Stars?
Well, I think they should. I think they were all cut from the same cloth.
Who paved the way?
Cool and the Gang was pretty early, and you know it was really early in that space. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
They should all
You
be
go
in
back to
already.
like
Why are they
70,
not in already?
like 71, or maybe even the late 60s. Earth, Wind, and Fire doing it, but they're already in, I think. Cool and the Gang. And here's a little trivia for you that you can take to the water cooler today when everybody's talking about Cool and the Gang. Go, oh man, that Cool's a great singer.
So
Guess
cool.
what? He was the bass player. He didn't sing a note. It was James Taylor was the lead singer of Cool and the Gang, but not the James Taylor that you know, the James Taylor that is the singer of Cool and the Gang. He was
Just yesterday morning,
he was
I
the
did
front
the
man.
Hollywood Shuffle.
Robert Cool Bell was the little dude. His bass guitar looked like it was as big as he was, you know? But he was the namesake for Cool and the Gang. He got them all going. I don't know any other guys in the gang, you know? But I think they're still out there touring. All right, the next one, I think a special KLBJ FM salute goes out to, I mean, would we even be a station if this guy didn't exist? Talking about the one and only, the Wizard of Oz, the Blizzard of Oz. Ozzy Osbourne is in as a solo artist, of course, already in.
Just solo?
Already in for Black Sabbath.
I'm happy about that.
And he gets now another kiosk, I guess, at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. Ozzy Osbourne made it. And I don't even know if he knows yet. You know what I mean?
Oh, because he hasn't woken up yet?
Yeah, this is probably news. It's probably going to be news to him sometime today. Sharon! Sharon! Where's my Daily Mirror? That's my Ozzy impression. Daily Mirror is a newspaper in England. Congrats to Ozzy.
Man, I was legit afraid of Ozzy when I was a kid. The first time I saw Diary of a Madman, that cover,
Yeah.
I was like, nah, man, I'm out. This guy really can summon a devil.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you grow up and you're like, oh, this was all like a tongue-in-cheek goofball kind of facade thing he was doing.
I think all devil stuff is.
Yeah.
Now our final entry, our final inductee. I don't think anybody in this room is going to have a problem because we've all left our wallets in El Segundo.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Tribe Called Quest is in. And I think they really did a great job of bridging rap and rock, you know, in a meaningful way, right? Don't you think, Chewy? I know you're good with this one.
Yeah. Tribe?
I don't know if I can see the bridge between rap and rock, but
It's just
I
pure,
mean,
this
I
is
think
pure
I
hip-hop.
talk in attitude. In attitude.
there was this promise that we were going to have this super intelligent movement into hip-hop, and we were all so excited about it. This new consciousness.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the future of music. And then it turned out that rapping about killing people and doing drugs turned out to be way more popular with high school kids, and then that's where the whole industry ended up going, and that was kind of sad.
Well, look,
because-
maybe later in the show we can talk a little bit more and get your impressions. You know, if you've got a problem with any of these inductees, it's going to be the big news today. But right now we got to get to Rock and Roll News Junior, because kids are on the way to the dropout zone right now. In the back, safely strapped in the back of Mom's, I don't know. I always say Chrysler Pacifica, but I guess Kia Carnival. You know, I don't know about that vehicle. You got to question that purchase, I think. I don't know. It's not for me. It's a little boxy, but it's good. I'm sure it's good. Anyway, they need headlines, too, because they're on their way to school. A little bit cooler today, kids, so I hope you got your hoodie on or whatever. But they need rock and roll news headlines. Now, I don't know if we can take this one for face value because it is from the Hindustan Times.
Oh.
Okay, now I go deep. When I research rock and roll news and rock and roll news junior, I have prescriptions to a lot of different magazines and newspapers, and this news comes from the Hindustan Times. So I don't even know if it's real, but U.S. visa regulations pose a threat to K-pop. How about that for a headline?
I don't understand.
Well, the kids love K-pop, right?
Okay.
And I have one of my sons loves K-pop, and they may be facing.
It's not too late to dump that if you want me to.
They don't want you, saying that?
I didn't say which one.
I'm just saying, but I know, but other men will judge you as in your parenting skills.
I don't care. As long as you're into music, I don't care. Major companies are preparing for skyrocketing fees for K-pop groups that may affect whether or not they can tour in our country. Because these visa fees have gotten so high. I guess there's new legislation or something like that. The cost of obtaining visas for international artists has skyrocketed. In fact, it's quadrupled, according to the Hindustan Times, which I'm not sure is even a legitimate. Artists like BTS, the kids love new jeans, don't they? They love the new jeans.
You're going to have to... I'm going to trust you on this one. Because I don't know anything about K-pop.
Well, that's
not even me trying to be cool. I just have not taken the time.
That's on you.
I'm sure it is on me.
17, they're all preparing for 2024 and 2025 tours, but they may never happen. So on April 1, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services implemented a 250% increase in visa cost. Guess what?
So what's the new visa cost?
Oof, you don't want to know. They increased from they put a period here instead of a comma. About $1,800 to $6,700.
Oh my!
Per
God.
person for a visa.
Now imagine if the guy becomes president. Imagine how those fees are going to
I
go
don't
up.
think we'll give those away.
For those who cannot wait for standard approval, there's an expedited processing fee on top, which would be about $2,800 per application. Now, I don't know if any of this is true, so kids don't freak out. Do your own research. Go to the library today.
Bob hasn't, so you do.
Well, no, I got the Hindustan Times here. Dated Monday, Dateline, April 22nd. This is all the way from New Delhi. This
Dang.
news comes all the way from... I will get...
I'd love a sandwich right now.
I love Little Bill.
Alex, will you research this a little farther? Thank you. All right. That's it. It's time for the Rock and Roll News Salute. We are right up against the clock here. This one goes out to someone who I hope is listening, but I understand if you're not. Someone who is our biggest fan.
Yes.
Our biggest cheerleader. She knows who she is, and she knows why we're giving her the salute today. We three cannot thank you enough for being one of the people brave enough not only to come down into the studio and say hi to us, but to always treat us like we were stars. And I'll tell you what, you were the star. You're the star, not us. And I don't know what else I can say. Maybe stuff will be said later, but I just want you to know that we are thinking about you.
A radio wave hug to you.
And your situation weighs heavy on our hearts. And we want to thank you for everything that you've done, and hopefully will continue to do, being a supporter of our show. And you're always welcome here. You're welcome in our hearts. And And thank you so much. I want to give you, put it on 10. Put it on, I want you to turn this way up on 11.
I will.
11. And I'm going to be quiet. I'm not going to step on it. Hit it.
Well, who's it to?
She knows. She knows.
We're not saying who?
Oh, I did. I thought this is how we were doing it.
Oh, I was going to say her name and just
Say
say
it.
you. Well, Nikki.
Nikki, thank you so much, Nikki. Thank you so. Give her another one. I'd give you 100 more if I could, if I didn't have to go to a commercial break.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you so much, Nikki. We love you so much. If you need anything, reach out.
I hate it.
We should reach out to you. All right, sing us out, Chuy.
All right, then.
You know what? The rock and roll news is not always happy. Sometimes there's sadness. You feel sadness in your heart, but what do you do when you have that sadness? Well, you go visit your friends at the record store. Hey, thank you, Vinyl Joe, for standing in line for me at Record Store Day and picking up a couple titles for me. Yeah, you're right. I should have got that Talking Heads. I don't know why I didn't put that on my list. Damn it. Anyway, yeah, you go to the record store and you visit your friends and you put a smile on your face. Thank you to everyone out there. Rock and roll saved my life. I know it can save yours. You just got to let it open up your heart and let it pour in. All right. I've done enough pontificating. I'm sad.
This section. You had your headphones on. You were in here. We were chatting about it. I said I pulled up alongside.
I'm sad,
Chuy,
Matt.
And I said, and then we all ended up going to the chili parlor together. I said that.
I didn't get that invite.
Mornings with Matt and Bob were powered by Chuy.
I didn't hear that.
Probably because I was talking. You don't listen to me.
I think it's the other way.
Wow.
You know
Really?
what? When you point your finger because the plan fell through, you got 3 more fingers pointing back at
No,
you.
I point like this. I
That's-
point all 5 fingers in one direction.
I didn't hear it. I must have my headphones on. Sometimes
You must have had your headphones on. I was talking about it on air. We talked about it on air.
I had my headphones on.
Yeah.
And that's why you couldn't hear me?
Yeah. I always have my
They're
headphones on
acting
when we're on
funny
air.
today, he said, too.
But how could you not hear if your headphones were on?
I'm telling you, there's something up with
There's something with the thing.
the thing. No, I didn't hear that part.
Congratulations to Moon Tower Comedy Fest, who just pulled off 10 days of comedy.
Is
in the
it?
city.
Wait a minute. I just got my pass yesterday.
Yeah.
It's over?
It's over. It's over.
I can't use my pass to go to any shows?
Well, now the pass only
My
works.
wife last night goes, "Are you going to Moon Tower?" I go, "I think it's over."
Yeah, no.
She goes, "You just got your pass." I go, "Yeah, it's over."
The club.
Part
the
of me
club.
thought we were kicking it off, too, somehow.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
'Cause
we were the
I didn't
very
think it was
end.
the end.
We did
We were
one
the
year.
very
We
end.
kicked it off. One year we were the first show.
Yeah. No, the club shows are just that last 3 days of the 10 days. And that's what you use a pass for, is for the club shows.
Yeah.
And, it's a...
Right.
Before that, it's big gala
Big.
shows. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
how the festivals work overseas. And, we had a joint rolling contest on stage. We tried to teach Melissa Barrera, who is Hey, have the box office numbers come out yet? Does she have the #1 movie in the country?
Oh, I don't know. Let me look.
Melissa
Civil
Barrera.
War has been in the lead lately.
Well, I know, but a lot of people thought that this movie, Abigail, because it had so much hype,
The theater
was
we
going
went to was
best.
packed on Friday
Oh,
night.
you got to go with Melissa Barrera and see the movie, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Bob
with
hates-
a group of people.
Bob hates horror movies, but you said this one was a lot more comedy than horror, and that was really good.
Yeah, a lot of comic relief. I wouldn't say comedy because it wasn't. Well, maybe it was written that way. But the characters, the comedy comes and it's just a bunch of idiot criminals trying to pull off something.
Well,
and it's not working for them. You know what I mean? So there's
yeah.
a lot of comedy there. Just all these stereotypes of just bad actors, not bad actors, but bad criminals. You know what I mean?
That
let's
answer
see.
took so long, I forgot what we were talking about. I
don't know.
forgot what we were talking about, literally.
Well, I don't
'cause
want to.
that
I'm
answer
trying
took
not to
so
do any
long.
spoiler alerts, but I'm just saying,
Where was I headed?
I think you got your answer.
Hey, I heard
the
you guys
joint
went.
rolling.
I heard you
Joint
guys went to
rolling,
the
thank
chili
you.
parlor.
Joint rolling.
We did
Word-
joint rolling. We tried to teach Melissa how to roll a joint on stage. And can I say that her joint was not great?
If she was trying to look like she's never rolled a joint before,
Nailed
and
it.
the cops won't arrest her ever, then that is.
I think she thought she was wrapping up candy or something. She was doing a whole lot of twisting in opposite directions on the ends of that thing.
Yeah.
trying to tighten it up by winding it.
No, yeah, she's like, can I just twist this here? And then, I don't know. There's something, everybody rolls a joint differently.
Yeah.
And actually, Bob, I feel like tried to smoke that one.
Do you
Nothing
think
came out. I couldn't get any smoke out of it.
Do you think that the art of joint rolling it's a skill that's completely disappearing from the planet, right? Because now people are just buying pre-rolls.
Yeah, you buy pre-rolls or cones?
Pre-rolls or cones now, and nobody really knows how to roll a joint anymore.
I don't like it. I don't like your cones, and some of your pre-rolls I don't necessarily like. I roll mine perfectly, just like a cigarette, has a mouthpiece, burns evenly. I love it.
Well, we talk about Americans and our craft, leatherwork, woodwork, welding. We're Americans.
Yeah.
We build with our hands. Should we feel a little bit of national shame that so many Americans, this whole generation that does not know how to roll their own, either a cigarette or a joint, because they're buying all these cake bars or what, you know what I'm talking about? The what are those things called, like
Elf
disposable
bars
vape things or whatever?
All the carts that you can imagine.
And carts is for cartridges that snap into a pen, right?
I don't know. How did Cuba, Cubans with rolling cigars and everything, how did that gain popularity?
See, here's the thing.
I don't know.
And that's what's a shame. If you go to Cuba and you'll find a fine woman who will roll a cigar on the inside of her thigh. Now that, to me,
that's Havana.
That's a thing you don't want to lose, right? And here we got people who are like, well, I'll just a joint, I got to buy it. Come on, America. Are we going to fall behind like this? Now I know some people right now are rolling their eyes and going, they're talking about marijuana on the radio. It's disgusting.
Unbelievable.
It's illegal.
Nobody's doing that.
Okay, yes, you're right. We're one of the 12 remaining states where marijuana is illegal.
But somehow we were able to walk into a store and buy it.
You can buy THC that's derived from hemp because of the way the laws are
Delta
written.
8.
Yeah. Or HHC. If you don't want THC, you can get HHC, or you can get Delta 9, or you can get Delta 10. There's all these ways around.
It doesn't do anything for you. It's people. It's like cosplaying a weed smoker, I think.
That's where I want to be. That's the space I need to be in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
As a weed smoking cosplayer?
Yeah. That, like, it's not going to affect me.
But I'm here in the circle.
Yeah.
Don't pass it to me, because we're going to make fun of you.
But I thought we were up to Delta 10 or something.
I don't know if it works in levels like that.
Oh, I thought
It's
it did.
One's not stronger than the other. No,
I thought 9 was stronger than 8.
No. Has nothing
In the
to do with
gummies,
that.
anyway.
No, has nothing to do with that.
It's not like Lethal Weapon.
And what's the resin? There's something called resin,
No,
right?
rosin.
Rosin.
Live rosin.
I really
Terpenes.
don't know.
Live rosin is definitely the cleanest
Basically,
way to concentrate.
the law changed, and they said, yes, you can grow hemp. Hemp is the same plant that marijuana comes from, but this has very low THC.
They make clothes out of it.
But that's legal. Now, it didn't take very long for industrious humans to find a way to then extract and then concentrate the THC out of the hemp plant. And then they make it into a chemical, and then they make this fake weed, and then they spray the chemical on top of it, and then you can kind of smoke it or whatever. It's a way around stuff. It's because the state is still being stupid.
But doesn't that mean it's manufactured? I thought anything that was manufactured was a bigger penalty. That sounds like a manufacturing process.
It is,
to
but
me.
it's not manufactured from marijuana.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know. It's complicated, right? It's how the law works.
You know what? I'm glad I do the rock and roll news and not like the, what's the magazine for pot smokers? What was that one called? High Times? I'm glad I'm not the High Times.
I'm just glad we live
guy.
in Texas, the freest state in the country.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
As long as you don't want to do anything.
As long as you don't want to do anything outside of Christian nationalism, you're fine.
You're fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Let me float a spot here if you guys don't mind. And after I float that spot, I think it's going to be time for us to get into some thick headlines.
Damn, boy. Tune in now for some thick headlines.
I think you know we make a big point here at Mornings with Matt and Bob. We don't talk about shootings and deaths. No point in it. That's just gawking. That's rubbernecking is what that is. And we don't talk about auto accidents here. However, we occasionally make an exception, and today we will make an exception. An 18-wheeler.
An 18-wheeler?
Oh, God. I'm sorry, because
Don't laugh.
this ruined a lot of people's mornings.
I'll be driving one in another year.
lot of people's mornings. Do you guys know where the French legation building is? Right
Yeah.
there, just outside of downtown.
Yeah, it's off of Lake Austin Boulevard.
No, not at all. It's the other
What
side.
am I thinking
It's
of?
in East Austin.
Oh, the French legation.
Ah, the You were thinking of the Spanish legation.
Yes.
French legation. There is a road right next to it that is very steep. I don't know if that played into this, but an 18-wheeler driver was taken into custody after hitting and destroying 10 parked vehicles overnight in East Austin. I saw a picture of it. The dude,
Tell me they're all Teslas.
I don't know what happened, and it's not only did he hit it. Look, do you want to see this picture, bro?
Let me see it.
He hit all the stuff. He dragged cars like half a mile. I don't know
Did he
what.
fall asleep?
I don't know what happened. But do you see this? Do you see the cuts in the road? The
like someone
asphalt is
took
going
out
up.
trees.
Took out trees.
Stop signs.
Took out what is that? Trash cans.
You don't have to pay to park anymore.
You don't.
The sign's gone.
The pay to park sign is gone.
I didn't know, Your
Look at
Honor.
The
There was no
front end of all these cars are gone.
trees.
Trees are gone.
Whole, railings. Railings.
Yes. I'm
That's a-
sorry. I shouldn't be laughing.
That's a
but
bad day.
That's a very bad day.
That's going to be my first week driving trucks next year.
That is going to be your first day. Look at that. Concrete is gone and missing.
Whoopsie.
I don't know what happened, but somebody lost control of a big rig is what happened. I only bring
What's
it
it
in
even
here.
doing on a small street like that?
That's another question. I think
Like
somebody.
you don't see big 18-wheelers on us.
Hey, we talked. Remember that we talked to somebody last year who said that they do HR and hiring, and they're like, we need truck drivers. We do not have enough drivers, and so apparently they got one. And this
they
guy,
got a Lime scooter too. They got a Lime scooter. Do you see that picture?
I did.
Picture number 14 of 15.
That'll
didn't.
cost you.
Well, anyway, hats off to that driver. I know you're having a terrible Monday. I know everybody who's waking up along that street and walking out to their cars having a terrible Monday. Hats off to all the bad Mondays. Sorry about that. But also remember, in the grand scheme of things, this is just one more hiccup in a long line of BS.
All trucks give them the 21 honk salute, please.
Austin is looking for lifeguards for all of their city pools.
You do this story every year.
I do bring it up every year because I think you need to have public pools open. I think you need a place for kids to recreate. I think you need to play. I mean, one of the things that was always cool about Austin, things like Barton Springs, Little Stacy, Deep Eddy. When I was first moved here, in the summertime, when I wasn't in class, I would go hang out at these pools, and there was a sense of community there. I understand as we've grown, there have been more and more neighborhood pools grown, and more people are putting their own pools, private pools to their house. But there was a sense of community that went on at Austin's pools. I think it's very important. And then we had 4 or 5 years there where Austin couldn't hire, didn't have the budget, and they shut the pools down. Thought it was stupid. This is good.
I'm looking for an extra job. Do they have some that only do the shallow end?
No. Also, here's the other problem about a lifeguard.
What's that?
They're not going to let you wear cutoffs and then a T-shirt, dude. You can't. That's not what they want as a lifeguard.
I think some neighborhoods might let me.
You're going to wear what are you going to have, which wrestling figure are you going to have on your T-shirt?
I'm definitely going to have a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt with no sleeves.
Anyway, they're looking for lifeguards. You can contact the Parks Department. It pays pretty darn well, and if you're somebody out there who's a young person, it's a great way to spend the summer. Travis County DA Jose Garza just won an election. What do they call that? The primary in a landslide, but is now being it may be removed from office. There's a new law that went into effect last year, House Bill 17, that allows members of a community to try to remove their own DAs. And they're saying because he is refusing to prosecute low-level marijuana possessions, a resident, Mary Dupuy, has filed a petition to remove Garza from office. I don't think it'll happen.
Good work, Mary. Doing the Lord's work, Mary.
I think Mary is probably backed by Texas Public Policy Foundation, TPPF, who is an activist organization with a lot of money, who's very, very I don't know. I almost think illiberal. They're very. So I think that's probably what's happening here, and so they're going to run this through, and it's going to cost all of the taxpayers an S-load of money because the guy said, "I'm going to stop prosecuting this because we make no money, and it costs us an S-load of money to prosecute these things, and all it does is give records to people who are holding a joint." It just seems stupid at this point.
No.
And frankly, I don't know where you fall on the political spectrum, but I think most people with common sense would be like, yeah, I don't think that's what I want the cops doing, is worrying about somebody who has a dugout in their pocket.
You just don't want these streets clean is what you want.
I don't think it does us any good.
Look at you, Thug.
If you're taking, it costs like $3,000 a night to jail a person, and if you're jailing them for having less than a nickel on them, it seems stupid.
Yeah, well, that sounds like something a thug would say.
So we'll see how that goes. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause? The University of Texas football team scored a big victory over the weekend. It turns out you're almost guaranteed a victory when the Longhorns take on the Longhorns.
They didn't go easy on them either.
You can't lose. The annual orange and white game happened on Saturday afternoon, and boy, you have got to be a jersey sniffer.
Yeah.
At that point, if you're like, I'm going to go watch the A and B team play
I talked
each other.
to somebody who went, and he was telling me, "Did you hear about it?" And I go, "No." He's like, "Arch, was it Arch?
Arch is one
He
of the...
threw like for 300 yards or something."
He did go nuts. He did go off, and it got people very excited.
Here we go.
Got people
Here
very
we go.
excited.
It's not like we've ever had any quarterback controversies at the University of Texas.
It's going to
that
be
never happens.
The third string quarterback also lit up the scoreboard. So it really was a big game for all involved. It's got people excited. The first year in the SEC will begin in just about a month and a half. Also, UT baseball won yesterday, a big game over TCU. And, of course, the surprise, not the surprise story, but at least the fun story of spring. UT softball has been amazing. Still, I believe, ranked number one and just trouncing everybody. I know that sometimes people go, well, I don't like the ladies' sports. Can I say this? It's not softball you played in the backyard. Watch these ladies pitch underhanded, like a 90 mile an hour.
I don't think you could hit that.
A 90
I know
mile.
I couldn't hit it.
No,
I could
none
bunt
of
it,
us.
maybe.
None of us could hit one of these pitches.
I could hit it, but it's not going anywhere.
None
it's
of
gonna
us
be
could hit
foul
one of these
every time.
pitches. It's insane. I said pitches very clearly before you think
That
I
was
said
close.
something else. It's
umpire. Is that?
did he go all the way around?
Check swing.
It is fun to watch, and it's nuts. And we, as a show, have made fun of women's softball for a long time.
I never have. I don't know what show you're talking about.
Because we've said stuff like, well, we used to say...
Didn't we meet Kat once? Remember Kat?
Yes, of course I remember Kat Osterman, who was incredible. No, but we haven't made fun of softball as much as we used to say. We used to say stuff like, she was a lady who probably liked Subarus in softball. We used to say that to be code for...
We're not.
But then when we would do the voice for her, he'd be like, we would say, hey, I just want to hang out with you guys and have a beer. I don't know what the problem is. So we got to back down from there and just know that we were being silly
Shock jocks.
shock jocks.
We're not that
I'd
anymore.
love to see us try to hit a fast pitch there.
That would be funny because I don't think we could. Any of us could hit one of those. I also don't understand how you get that much speed on a ball from just one solid underhand wind like
From
that.
looking at them, I have a feeling it's in the thighs.
Wow, dude.
Wow.
See, we just backed off a little bit. Now you're going.
And then you're going thigh?
Y'all are
going
from the
hardcore.
70s, so y'all see that as an insult.
Like the 70s, people didn't have thighs in the 70s?
I think people like juicy thighs now. Y'all need to get with the times.
I'm just saying I don't notice a woman's body at all.
No.
That's not why I'm out there. It's not to look at
You don't
and
acknowledge their
ogle and
existence?
oogle.
I'm there for the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. You know?
Oh, you're saying you look at it. You say you look at like a picture and you go, oh, those are birthing
Wait, you're
thighs.
telling me you're sexualizing a sport?
Hey, in NBA, the short shorts are coming back, and I think all the ladies are loving
No woman has ever noticed a guy's giant dong flopping around in his
that.
basketball
Except for
shorts.
Wemby. I don't
Guys
know.
out, thighs out.
Trust me, they notice.
Anyway, what was the point of that whole thing?
Some
They
of you
won?
girls out there, you dirty.
They won a game?
You dirty. We're just covering. I don't know.
Was that the net?
That's the net.
They're going to have a good season. I think everyone's going to have a good season.
That's the net for everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, those are your Austin area headlines. Sorry, ran out of a little juice right there.
That's okay.
You go nowhere, folks. You go nowhere.
Mornings with Matt and Bob, powered by Chuy. Mo show to go. It's not like Matt Bearden to miss a big Austin headline during thick news, but I thought for sure this one would pop up.
Yeah, you are accusing me of missing what you think is
accusation.
I just don't think that I'm
a Cub reporter.
I'm not.
For thick
No,
news.
you're
a
cuck reporter.
I'm a Cub reporter.
And you suck up to these celebrities, and I just am not on. I'm not on the teat of the celebrity like you are.
This was Austin news from the Austin Business Journal, the ABJ, which I think we can trust. Apparently, among other people, one Bobby Flay is looking.
I love ABJ.
Is looking for real estate to erect some of his Bobby's Burgers by Bobby Flay hamburger joints. And I don't know, it's like...
I think we
as
definitely...
much as I respect Mr. Flay, I think... Isn't that a category where we probably don't need... do we need another burger
hit
joint?
The burger limit.
We got Jew Boy Burgers. We got Mighty
saying
Fine.
We hit the burger limit.
We got In-N-Out. We got P. Terry's.
We got Buddy's Burgers.
We got Buddy. Oh,
we got
Buddy's
El Camino.
El Camino
we got
Casino.
Clark's Burgers. We have Top Notch. We have Dan's.
When do we draw the line? When do we build the wall?
NADC.
Build the wall. Build the wall. He does put potato
Against
chips on his
burgers.
burger, though. That was pretty revolutionary.
Bobby Flay?
Yeah.
What do you mean that was revolutionary?
Revolutionary.
I was putting chips on my burger when I was swimming at the pool when I was 7 years old.
But you weren't a Michelin chef and working for the Food Network.
But Chewy's a Michelin chef.
It's going to make...
He's built like the Michelin Man.
It's going to make me so happy to see someone like Bobby Flay fail for once.
Do you remember how exciting it was for Austin when the Hard Rock Cafe came to 6th Street and was open for a year and then had to close their doors?
Remember
that was
when
actually
Dick
enjoyable.
Clark's Rock and Roll Grill or whatever that was called?
Remember
that,
when
right up the
Katz's
street?
never closed?
It got me thinking, like, do we need another Mexican restaurant? Do we need another hamburger joint? Like, what are we pushing? Are we moving the needle now, or are we just adding more things?
I love the food scene, but
and
we
what
do
are
not
we
need
missing?
another burger place.
What are we missing?
I think that's the bigger question, Bob, is what are we missing in Austin? Because there is sort of a lack of creativity of someone showing up here and saying, I'm going to do hamburgers. It's like, well, there are other things that we are missing that I would like to see here.
Right.
On a regular basis. And not just food-wise. We're missing other things.
Yeah. What are we missing here?
I mean, we don't have enough childcare outlets. It's $1,000 a month to put your kid in childcare in the city.
Wow, that's like college tuition.
I'd rather have a burger.
I would too. Rather have $1,000 worth of burgers. But in all of this rush to bring Austin, I don't know, Lime scooters and the next Smash Patty, what are the things that are being overlooked for Austin?
Oh, you want to open it up past restaurants? I was just saying, please bring White Castle. That's a burger place, so I'm kind of contradicting
Yeah, you
myself.
are kind of contradicting
It's
yourself.
not a typical burger.
Bob,
it's a
you're
slider.
Contradicting yourself very quickly.
All right, name another slider restaurant.
The first thing sliders aren't even, they're not, sliders, okay, are you ready for a hot take?
Golden Castle downtown.
All right, I'm taking my jacket off now because I think we're going to fight.
Are you ready?
Golden Castle is a good slider
Hold me
place.
back. Chewy, hold me back.
And Jew Boy has a slider place.
Hold me back.
There's 2 slider places.
Can we go today? Hold me back, Chewy.
All right.
Sliders are a half-ass crap food.
Not a White Castle.
No,
they're
that's
steamed.
my take.
They're steamed on a bed.
They're almost the
On a
worst.
delicious bed of onions.
Golden Castles are pretty good.
All sliders are stupid.
All right, I
It's
still
a dumb
want to see a
food.
White Castle because there's nothing that hits.
Here's a
like
hamburger, but
bag
it's tinier.
of sliders from White Castle after a night.
No
like I'd
interest
like
in
to
a
do
tinier
after a night
hamburger.
on the town.
No interest.
Down on 6th Street.
Doesn't make sense.
You know me, I like to party it up down on 6th Street.
know
and
him.
after that, I like to...
This is Golden Castle downtown. Love them.
Where's that?
downtown.
Oh, I wanted a hot dog so bad Saturday night after.
Oh, man, I almost went instead of Chili Parlor because there's a new
I wanted
place
a hot dog so bad. I don't know
called
why.
Mad Dogs
What?
on 12th.
Anyway, go ahead. What did you had one, Chuy? You had a restaurant.
Did I?
Yeah, Dave's Hot Chicken, you said.
I think Dave's Hot Chicken needs to be. I know we're having a lot of chicken places with Hattie B's, and you got your Tumble 22s, and what's the other one?
But there
I
are
think there's another
lesser
popular
cities that have Dave's Hot Chicken. Where was I recently? That I
one.
saw
San Antonio, Dallas, Houston.
Why do we explain to me why we need? Here's what I don't understand. You guys are agreeing with me that Austin needs certain things,
Yeah.
and then you're immediately just naming more restaurants. Do we need more restaurants?
I would like us to have everything, but I'm with I'm with both of y'all. What don't we have?
When I go to Dave's Hot Chicken, am I going to be able to get like a 4-piece chicken for $5?
Okay, you can't get that anywhere.
Yeah, I
you
can. I
crazy?
get it at HEB right now, and my problem right now is that what you guys are requesting,
You would need a
are
time
more,
machine
are
DeLorean
more
to-
essentially celebrity restaurants where I'm
Yes.
having to pay $30 a person to eat. I'm tired of that. What I want is, do you remember La Mexicana Bakery where you could get 2 tacos and a tall boy for $3? Do you remember Tamale House? And I'm sorry, Tamale House on the East Side. I know you're the same family, whatever, and I appreciate.
It changed.
What do you mean it changed? It changed years ago. I mean, Tamale House number 3, the one on Airport was the bomb. That was the bomb, and it closed 20-something years ago. And Austin has been in a desperate need of something to replace that.
No one's going to come into Austin, a high-priced area, and charge not a lot of. There's even a faux dive, that Busty's faux dive. I guarantee you that place is charging at least $15 a meal.
Please don't get me in trouble because that's in my neighborhood and I haven't even been there. And before you run it out and
They
start
don't know
making
who you
us.
They don't know. And I'm down to go too. I'm not saying I haven't been there. I'm just saying
There are places, there's still places.
people want to look like. There's no place like the Silver Medal. No one's going to come in and move in and be the Silver Medal.
But Silver Meadow only opened 5 or 6 years ago. There are places that can do that. That's what I'm saying. Can't we get more places that are approachable and for everybody? Why does everything that comes here have to be $23 cocktails and $17 sandwiches?
But how do we keep the riffraff out? You know, the people that make over 6 figures. How do we keep that riffraff?
The riffraff is
over 6 figures? Or
You want to keep wealthy people out of the cheap restaurants?
Well, they keep us out of that.
Wait a minute, what are you
Out of
saying?
the
A
world.
I don't know
riffraff
what
is
he's
between
saying.
1 million and 2 million? What do you?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Over 6 figures. The riffraff. Keep those people out and have the working class in.
Well, you're not going to do it by bringing in Dave's Hot Chicken.
Dave's Hot Chicken's for everybody.
All right, now I'm looking at a list of the 10 best fast food restaurants in the country, and here's one we don't have. That's a category that we don't have. I don't think. But there's a fast food restaurant called Made Right, and it made the top 10, made number 10 of the top 10 on this website. And they make loose meat sandwiches. Basically sloppy joes, I guess.
Yeah, no, Bob. There's a reason we don't.
Well, we
want
don't
that.
have it here. I want to see if I can get a
Why are you
franchise.
searching for the most obscure things?
Let me see
I'm
how
sure
much.
there's
Let me
some
see how
things.
much I can get a franchise for. They've been a restaurant for 98 years.
And
Here's-
we still haven't heard of them?
We can get a franchise for $250,000, including startup costs.
I got $40.
Well, no, we would go to a bank and we'd say, hey,
Hey, I have $40.
hey.
You know what we don't have? What I think we don't have? Is there a good Italian deli?
I want a Jewish deli.
Mandolas.
In this, no. Mandola's
deli.
is a restaurant that has some. I'm talking about like when you go, if you're in New York, not Manhattan, you're in one of the, you go up to Mamaroneck or something, right? Mm-hmm. Every neighborhood has a Jewish deli. You go in there, they make a couple of sandwiches, but you're also getting stuff for the house.
I
You're
want
getting
one.
cold cuts,
Yeah,
you're getting pastas, you're getting all that for the house. And it's fairly affordable and it's easy to get in and out of.
Yeah,
Right?
right. Mandolas has some of that.
Some of that.
Some of that. They
But
got
there's
a couple
no parking.
shelves,
There's no
and they
parking
got
when I
one.
go to a Mandola's or whatever. It's not. It's different. It's more
I see
restaurant
what
forward.
you're saying. We don't have an Italian market, do we?
Yeah.
And I feel like there is, though.
Now, if you go to Phoenicia, I can go get my Middle Eastern goods, and I can get in and out of there in a hurry and back on the road, right? And that's why it works. And that's what works in some of these delis, more bodega style.
I want a bodega where I can go get a chopped cheese. Doesn't have to be the Aki way.
Once again,
Wait,
why
what is
are
chopped cheese?
why are we only into food? What's wrong with us is a show?
I guess I don't do anything else.
That sounded so desperate.
I
when you
really
said
did.
it.
It sounded so
What
sad.
is
Name
chopped?
something else
What's
fun.
chopped cheese? How do I know?
You're from New York.
I never had a chopped cheese.
How?
My mother never made chopped cheese. What is it?
And we're missing an English breakfast.
It's got
I know there's
ground
like
beef
one
in it.
place
It's
in
a
town
loose
that
meat
does it.
There was a
sandwich.
place down on Manchester briefly that had a real English breakfast, and it's gone now. And you're right. That's something
Bangers
that we're
and
missing.
mash?
Yeah,
No, full English.
Full English.
With
Eel?
a fried tomato.
Snails?
No, that's
have you
French.
never had an English breakfast?
You're
yeah.
from England and New
Heinz
York.
beans?
Yeah, I
Then
had a-
why do you keep
I
yelling
had
out
a guy
eel?
take me out for a real English breakfast, and we went to a truck, and they gave you a bunch of snails in a paper bag. That was in Hull, England.
Oh, that guy's
and he goes,
playing a
eat
joke
up.
on you. He's
That's
playing a joke
not-
on you.
Full English hasn't. Everybody knows what full English is.
I was like, I'm a pass.
All right, let's go to the phones and see.
Caller,
what
what's up?
Round Rock Mike.
What's up, Round Rock Mike? What do you got?
Yeah, long time
Yeah, he's gone.
ago, South by Southwest had a first opportunity to meet Bob, and was trying to support the day bands over at Come and Take It.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He was a little short with me, but
I
we
was?
won't talk.
Well, he's a little.
Yeah, act like you did. I mean, not in stature.
I don't know what you're talking about. I interacted with a lot of people there. I made myself fully available. There was only 5 of us there.
Right. It was cool, but
Wow, I can't believe it.
Thing,
What did you want me to do? Go out in the parking lot and wash your? Did you want me to go out in the parking lot and wash your car?
No,
I mean,
ma-
what? How much? What were you?
Wow, now you really sound short with
What
Round
were you
Rock Mike.
expecting
Round Rock
from me,
Mike,
Round
can I
Rock Mike?
apologize on behalf of
That's all
Bob?
good,
Maybe
man.
he was having a rough day.
What
think
did I?
it's something
What
he
did I
doesn't
say,
like
or what
around
did I
Rock.
do? I spent like 3 days
You
there.
didn't really say much.
Was the band playing?
Yes.
Okay, well, end of story.
Female, mostly a female band.
I don't see sex gender when I'm listening to a band. I just heard a good rock band. I'm sorry, I was probably being quiet. Listen, it's very difficult to hear in those situations. So a lot of times I'll just nod and say, "Yeah, it really is a good band," and then
Sir,
somebody's shouting in my ear.
I'd talk to you in the middle of a
You
movie,
just
sir. I don't
admitted
care.
that you really weren't paying attention to me.
He's just messing with you, Bob. Why do you get mad? Tell us what we're missing here in
Chicago
town.
pizza, guys. Chicago
Yes,
style
yes.
pizza.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need a Lou Malnati's.
Yeah.
we
You
need
took
we
away-
need a Giordano's. We need something.
You took manja away from us like 3 times. Now it's completely gone. You have
We had
nothing.
Mangia's before COVID, a little north of the Domain, which was amazing.
Yeah, it was right by my place.
You know, and there was a day, and still sometimes I'll get nostalgic and go to Conan's for a deep cut, and they claim to be Chicago pizza, but it's not this.
I hate these
it's the
pizza
same
purists
scu-
that are like, it's casserole. It's the same ingredients. It's just thicker and delicious.
Yeah, no, we could.
I mean,
we could
Via
probably use a real
313
good Chicago
is
style
good,
stuff.
is good thick pizza.
All right, guys, great show. Gotta
Thank you,
run.
man. Sorry,
Hey
dude.
man, sorry
We'll
about
spend-
Bob. You know how he is.
We'll
He's just
spend
big
more.
time,
I'll buy
man.
you, I didn't buy you a drink. No, he's gone. Son of a bitch.
Some Dom. All right, caller. What's up,
I'm
caller?
never short with people. That makes me mad. I go out of my way to be nice.
Yeah, what a bitch
Are
that
you
guy
smoking
was.
weed with them in your car?
No,
'Cause I go the
out
extra
of my.
mile.
Did you take that guy to Subway for a sandwich?
I go out of my way.
Hang on, caller.
To be
Bob's
cordial.
being defensive right
Oh,
now.
I'm pissed off, man. I'm pissed off.
Imagine that guy.
You can call me a lot of things, but would never. But if a band's playing, that's a whole different effing situation. In a bar,
Hey,
in a club.
We all think
I'm
you're
so
friendly.
mad now. I'm done.
No, we
I'm
think,
gone.
we
I'm
think you're
leaving
friendly.
today.
All right.
Everyone thinks you're friendly.
Oh, thank Round Rock Mike
Thank you, Round Rock
No,
Mike.
for making me leave the show.
Nothing proves you're friendly like this.
Hey, caller.
That wouldn't make you mad?
No, I would be like, well, maybe I didn't like you. What makes you so likable?
What am I supposed to do when a band's playing? Stop the band. I need to talk to this guy. I need to have a meaningful conversation right now with Round Rock Mike. Could you please? We'll resume the music in just a second, everybody.
I was friendly with everyone at the South by event except for the guy that walked up to me and goes, "Hey, man, are you Matt?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Man, I effing hate you, dude. You suck." And I go, "Okay." And
That was our general manager,
Yeah.
Bruce. Or the salesman. I can't remember. That was no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you're
tried.
always running your mouth, man. You need to shut up. And I was like, okay.
I really
Like,
try to
everything
be
else
nice.
good?
to
Everything else
everybody.
good?
I
All
try
right.
to be nice to everybody, but if the band's playing, we're not going to have some kind of meaningful interaction in the middle of a set. Come on.
What's up, caller?
Is the Bob Show?
You got
Go.
him to curse.
Dump him. Go. He's gone.
You got him to yell.
I didn't know it was him. Oh, this damn caller ID. All right.
We got that, didn't we?
Yeah, we got it. You're lucky.
Because
I
that was the
rebuilt it.
loudest. I've only dropped 3 F-bombs in 30 years, and that was the loudest of them all.
I loved it.
For
I loved it.
everybody out there who missed it, after that long rant, the caller immediately said, "Oh, geez, is
No,
the
it
Bob?"
wasn't any caller. It was Connor.
It was Connor.
Oh, was that Connor? You're dead to me, Connor.
Connor goes,
"Hey, Connor.
Oh, so is the Bob
Connor.
show over? And
Connor.
Bob yells, "Shut the F up."
Connor, don't come to the bowling event. Don't. I
The
never.
Ebola event.
No, the bowling event
Oh.
on the 4th. I don't want to see you again ever.
In fact, he doesn't want
Connor.
anybody talking to him.
Connor, do you hear me? I've gone out of my way to be nice to you, and you disrespect. And we're done. That's it. And we're not taking
good.
any more of your call. You're done. That's it. I don't. That was Connor for real? You're not just saying that?
It sounded like him. I didn't see the caller ID.
I need to know by
It
noon.
sounded a lot
I need
like
to know
him.
by noon. How
He
can we
wants a
find out?
name on his desk by
How can we
noon.
find out if that was Connor?
Oh, he would have to admit to it.
Do you know why I think it wasn't Connor?
Why?
That was funny.
Yeah, that was a little fast. That was a little quick for Connor.
He had time to build it up, to think of it.
Go ahead.
Okay,
All right.
next caller.
Please be nice.
How much dump is left?
Please, all 30 seconds. Katie,
I don't even know if mine works. I'm taking a real chance.
I saw it.
Because I don't drop F-bombs very often. And I have twice in the last
That's
2
an
months.
award.
That's the kind of pressure
Yeah.
we're under. But I've gone many, many decades and years without doing that. But that dude, if that was Connor, he should call and confess and kiss the ring because
Yeah.
I'm done.
you heard him, Connor. All right.
There'll be a horse's head in your bed in the morning.
I think we're all settled up.
Continuing to show how nice you are to the listeners.
Bob Friend Hotline. Katie.
You want to know what makes me drop some F-bombs?
What?
Is some loose meat sandwiches.
Hey, they're on freshly steamed buns.
Is that just a sloppy Joe?
It looks like it, but
It's not a sloppy Joe. I grew up eating it made right. It's not a sloppy Joe.
well, what's the flavoring? Is it just hamburger meat?
Yeah.
It's like a bell beefer.
It's like just ground up hamburger meat with, you put cheese on it, onions, whatever. You eat it just like a hamburger, cheeseburger, and they serve it with a spoon.
A spoon? It looks
Yeah.
like a chopped cheese a little bit.
That's right.
It's pretty weird. I grew up eating it, and I didn't realize how weird it was until I started living in Austin. I'm like, oh, there's not made rights here. This is kind of a weird thing.
Now, quick question:
But
is a made right good? Is a loose meat sandwich a good thing?
I mean, ground beef. Who doesn't love ground beef? It's just ground beef in a different way.
Ain't
It's
nothing
kind
but
of
a torta.
It's like the Dippin' Dots of ice cream.
Okay, now you just infuriated me because Dippin' Dots is the worst invention ever.
love
Is it
Dippin'
for
Dots.
people without teeth? I mean, why would you deconstruct a hamburger? Like, what is the
I don't
advantage
know.
of that?
It's been around forever. It's been around forever, but I think what probably made this place really popular maybe isn't so much the loose meat sandwiches, but it's like nostalgic 50s diner.
Yeah, right.
Well, remember that's what Roseanne Barr she had a loose meat diner.
That's what
On Roseanne.
the
I'm
lunchbox.
pretty sure they're from Illinois. I'm pretty sure this Made Right's from Illinois.
From
That's
Illinois.
where I'm from.
Okay.
They have several names: Made Rights, Tavern Sandwich, Loose Hamburger Sandwich, Big T, Steamer, and New Way.
Caller, what's your name?
Katie.
Katie, have you ever met any of us in public?
No.
Okay, don't meet Bob. He's very rude. Look, he's very rude.
Try not to
He's
meet him.
very rude to listeners.
Not
He has
true.
no time for them.
Not true.
Thank you, Katie, for participating. Remember who the nicest was.
Yeah.
Bye.
Believe me, my ego wants me to be recognized. I want to talk to people, but don't say that we were listening to a band playing hard rock at 120 decibels, and I'm supposed to interact and have a conversation. I might nod and go, "Hey, man, how you doing? Having a good time? Whatever." I'm not going to sit there and talk about the stock market with you
I will say,
during a sesh.
you being defensive makes it sound a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, what would you do if someone said that to you?
I would have said, yeah, what makes you so pleasant? Why am I supposed to like you?
Maybe you should have brought a little more to your hello.
Well, I don't want to go at the guy.
Well, you are.
Well, I am now.
Let's go.
If that was Connor, you saw the caller ID, and you're not telling me.
It didn't say who it was.
You're not
I
telling
promise
me.
you. It said wireless caller, but it sounded exactly like Connor. Thomas.
Good morning, boys. How are you?
Oh, hello, Tom. How are you?
Hello, Tom. Hello.
I know what this call is going to be about. Are you going to say that we don't have enough pickleball facilities yet?
Well, we can talk about that. No, I heard the words English breakfast.
Right.
Yeah.
Full English. Explain to us what a full English is.
I love everything about it except the pudding cake things.
So there's a saying which is if you want to eat well in Britain, you have to eat breakfast 3 times a day. And I think if you did, you would be dead within weeks because you would be consuming far too many unhealthy things. But, I mean, there is nothing like a full English breakfast. You know, sausages, eggs, bacon. We will concede hash browns, black pudding, baked beans, toast, mushrooms, tomatoes, and it is tomatoes, not tomatoes. And is that place that you mentioned on Manchac, Full English, it was a sad day when that closed, and there is nowhere in this city that does a decent breakfast. But there's also, I'm going to contend, there is, I think, Chuy, you said there's no Jewish delis. This city badly needs a really good Jewish deli.
There's Bittermans, I think, but I don't know how. I haven't been there in a while. I can't remember it.
Man, try and go and get latkes or like anything more than a kind of bagel in this city, and you can't get it. And I will say this: since Fricano's shut down, there isn't a decent sandwich anywhere to be found in the city.
Wow, that's a hot take.
That
Tom.
is a very hot take.
Tom, tell me what is the. No, I like everything. I'm going to allow the mushrooms. Even the tomatoes are kind of strange.
It's the best bread.
But what's the blood pudding bringing to the? What's that bringing to the table?
Nothing.
It's bringing
repulsion.
It makes it
Why
more
not
British.
just throw a third egg on that slot or something?
It's bringing more use of the pig.
Okay.
So
all right.
why let anything go to waste?
But I love.
I
love those bangers, man. You can't get bangers like that here.
They sell that bacon at HEB, that British bacon, got the flag on it and everything.
That's what Canadian
They do.
bacon, isn't it?
Yeah, and then
It's
the
like
mushrooms.
No, you can get the British bacon now. I think Central Market does British bacon, but you're right, Bob. You're right. There's nowhere in this city that does really good English style bangers.
Right.
You can those breakfast links that you get from like HEB. They're okay.
No,
but there is nowhere that's quite right.
Like Vegas is like a Vegas sometimes buffet will have some like a banger kind of like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's a very specific flavor.
Who's going to Vegas for breakfast?
Well, I'm just saying, Tom. Don't pile on, Tom. You and I are friends, but do they have to be Heinz beans? By the way,
I'm sorry that Bob's so rude whenever he's talking to you, Tom. He just has a habit of that, you know.
Bob's cool, but Bob and I are cool. I know, as he's approaching the kind of elderly stages of his life, he has to take it out on somebody. That's fun.
You're going to make the list, Tom.
Tom, you're making the list.
You're going to make the list. I don't want to put you on the list.
You can make a good English breakfast at home.
Does it have to be Heinz beans? Yes, 100%.
And they can't be the U.S. baked beans. They got to be in that kind of teal green, sort of jade green can.
Yeah.
And I think they sell those now at HEB, don't they?
Oh, man. HEB, but you said Phoenicia. When I first moved here and I popped into Phoenicia and like the kind of sun rising in front of me. There's Heinz baked beans in that store, and I'm kind of thinking, God, I've found the promised land. You can get them all over the city. They're everywhere.
For a very long time, the best place to get canned English goods, ironically enough, was Fiesta. They had a section that had Heinz baked beans, Cadbury Crumble, Flake, and they had Spotted Dick, which
nice.
I remember thinking, what the F is Spotted Dick?
I still don't know.
Well, it's usually what you get after a bad night, but it's apparently a dessert.
You got to see someone.
All right. My God, we're way over. Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it.
See you on the pickleball courts.
Hey,
Now we know the things that we need.
Mornings with Matt and Bob presents Nods to the Odd.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've gone around the internet, found some dumb, stupid, weird stories from this morning. And now we get into them. Here's one. More and more states in the USA want to lower the age required to serve alcohol in bars. Since 2021, at least 9 states have introduced bills to lower the minimum age for serving alcohol. According to a report released Thursday by the Economic Policy Institute, 7 states, that includes Iowa, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, New Mexico, and Alabama, have enacted some of these laws. In Idaho, you currently must be 19 to serve alcohol. Of course, you have to be 21 to purchase or consume alcohol. But they are saying, hey, you need to be at least 19 to serve it. They want to reduce that age to 17 years old. Yeah. Restaurant and industry groups like the National Restaurant Association are pushing for these bills. They say they're having a hard time hiring workers. The leisure and hospitality sector had 1.3 million jobs open in May. They can't get enough people in there, and they're saying, hey, if you would let us bring in some younger people to serve that alcohol, well then, we could fill those positions and have more alcohol getting out to those thirsty folks. The reason I bring it in, most of these states have lowered. They were at 21. They've lowered to around 20. Some have lowered as low as 18, I think, in this state now. But the reason I brought it in was to talk a little bit about my second home, which is Wisconsin, the state where my wife grew up. Wisconsin is looking to lower the alcohol service age from 18
15
to 14.
14. All right. There you go. I hope that's just beer and wine, though.
It is just easier to just bring a new generation and have child labor than it is to pay an adult a reasonable amount of money.
14.
Yeah.
Remember, that's a 14-year-old that's having to deal with some guy who's sitting in the bar going, hey, here's the thing, man. She left me, but you know what? She's a bitch. And it's a lot for a 14-year-old to take on. Now, maybe it's just to have them working at Chili's to bring the El Presidente margaritas out to the crowd. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it would be fun to be cut off by a 14-year-old, too. Look, I think...
Sexually?
Yeah.
Sorry I did that to you.
That's okay.
That can't feel good, can it? Sorry.
Mornings with Matt and Bob presents Nods to the Odd.
A Japanese boy accidentally ran a bill through a paper shredder, and one of those crisscross applesauce super shredders, by the way. It was 10,000 yen, which comes out to about $65, really, is all it is. It had been shredded into thousands of pieces. One bill had been shredded into 1,000 pieces. And so his father was just like throwing away old envelopes or whatever. It was in there. So he asked his father, can I have that? He went through this entire bag of shredded paper. Then he found just the pieces that were to the bill. And then he pieced it all back together.
And the serial numbers matched and everything?
Took him 3 weeks to put it together. The only reason I bring it up is he did all of that work for 3 weeks. And when I saw a 10,000 yen bill, I was like, oh, snap. That must be worth some money. You want to see the pile that he had to dig it out of?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would do this, I think. Just
I mean,
for
that
sport.
That looks like something from a gay disco, that much confetti
Ooh,
right
that's
there.
really shredded. It's not shredded. It's more like
It's that
chopped.
It's what they call that crisscross shredder or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just looks like
there's no
confetti.
way. There's no way.
He went through that giant pile of confetti until he found the pieces that belonged to the bill, and then he pieced it back together. And I guess I kind of jumped the headline early in this, but I kept thinking, well, yeah, 10,000 yen. That's got to be worth something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking like a couple $1,000. It was worth $65, which feels
I want to
like...
see the taped up bill. That's the picture I want to see.
Okay, that's the taped up bill.
That's pretty good.
You have to have, it's just like in America, you have to have a little more than 50% of the bill in order to turn it back into the bank, and they'll give you another.
All right,
so he pieced that together. Well, I know, it doesn't look like anything to us, really, Bob, but it was enough, apparently, that a bank accepted this and then gave him another 10,000 yen bill to replace it.
Yeah. You can't read it because it's in Japanese, though. So.
Yeah. Plus, you wouldn't even take, if you're not going to take the time to say hello to somebody, I don't think you're going to take the time to put that bill back together, are you?
Got him! Mornings with Matt and Bob presents Nods
He didn't say I
to the
didn't say
Odd.
hello. He said I didn't spend enough time
Said
with
you
him.
were
I don't,
short.
I don't know.
He said you were a little short with him. I think, look, it's a guy who wanted to talk to you. He was meeting his hero. And said, he'd going, hey, man, nice to meet you. What do you do? Oh, you're Round Rock Mike. Oh, that's awesome, man. It's good
All
to see
this
you.
while a band is blaring from the stage.
I took time to talk to people. I took time to talk to the,
You barely ever leave your house.
I took time to talk to the guy that told me how much he hated me. I said, well, all right. Well, I said, Bob's here, and there's in LA. I was like, there's other guys from the station, and you probably have more fun chatting with them. And he goes, okay. And then he wandered off.
Yeah. I was robbing one guy. He was like, I'm a big fan, man.
Starting a list.
A man
You
was
hear that?
A 26-year-old Memphis man, his name is Reginald Cook, was arrested after he attempted to rob a Shell gas station using a 5-foot-long snake. That's right, at approximately 2 a.m. in the morning last
it
week.
all.
He went into the store. He made a regular transaction. About a half hour later, he showed back up and he demanded that the cashier hand over all the money from the register. He kept putting his hands in his clothing, and the cashier got a little nervous, but he refused to open the register. And that's when Cook aimed a 5-foot-long live snake at him.
Got my attention.
Dude, how bad of a criminal are you?
What kind of a snake was it?
It's 5 foot long, so it's got to be some kind of pet boa, right? He said, give me the effing money, as he shouted, and he reached into a backpack that he was wearing, and the cashier, however, had a gun. So he pulled out a gun and pointed the gun at the guy who was holding a snake at him. Police have arrived at the scene shortly after. They took Cook into custody.
I'm shooting the snake first.
Yeah.
He had a rock, a railroad spike, and a snake. He has been arrested with 2 counts of attempted aggravated robbery. His bond is set at $4,000. The snake was taken into police custody. Bad boys, bad boys, what you gonna do?
I wish there was a Snake and Busted magazine. Love that.
Following the
mugshot.
arrest, Cook's family went to the gas station to apologize for the incident, and they offered to cover the cost of any damages. I'm sorry, but my brother is a bit of an idiot. I apologize. He's a moron. And my uncle won't even talk to you if you meet him at at an event. His name's Bob Fonseca. You might have heard of him.
It's good to hear
You're
this.
not going to get me, dude.
The scales
I know
of
I was
justice
in the
are
right.
working.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Chu? I'm
The
sorry.
scales of justice.
I cut you off like I cut that guy off during
It's
the
all right.
band. What did you say?
I'm just glad you're talking to me.
You should be. For what you did to me Saturday.
Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tale.
Mornings with Matt
I'm
and
not
Bob
enjoying any of this
presents
show.
Nods to the Odd.
Well, oh, is it because you're on it? Oh, come on, Bob. Uh-oh. Bob's
not-
crossed the line. He's like,
said,
no, I
what are
won't
you
have any
drawing?
more of this. I am done.
Are you drawing that guy that you don't like?
Oh, I'm making the list right now.
Oh, no.
I'm making the list.
Red Lobster has announced once again that they are filing for bankruptcy after more than $11 million in losses from their endless shrimp promotion.
Let's go next week.
They say the seafood restaurant chain financially is flubbed. They flubbed the promo. They ran the endless shrimp Then they came back and said, okay, we're raising the price. That still didn't work. All that happened was people that ended up feeling like they needed to eat more. The restaurant chain has reported more than $12.5 million in losses in the fourth quarter of 2023.
If you go, get the new
following
salt and
$11 million in losses.
Get the new salt and vinegar. It's really good.
Earlier this year, Red Lobster's Thailand-based investor Thai Union Group announced it's divesting from the restaurant and selling off its holdings. It turns out Red Lobster may be for the seafood lover in you, but it's not for the quality investment lover in you.
I thought those lobsters were looking kind of older and mature in those tanks.
No, it turns out that people just... it's apparently microwave seafood is just not as popular as it used to be. No.
Those shrimp... Bob had a good time.
Bob, did you have a good time when you went to the Red Lobster?
Except when this fan approached him. Everything else went great.
Hey, man, you don't think you're taking a little too far this morning?
Keep it coming.
It's Bob Fonseca. He created the rock and roll news. He's a good guy.
Sorry.
He took his...
I'm out. I checked out.
Let us live in a place where only the shrimp are endless and not the ribbings.
Too bad you weren't that funny on Saturday.
That hurts because I wasn't. And the problem is I didn't get high enough. I'm so worried about y'all. Worried about how high I am. So...
Mornings with Matt and Bob presents Nods to the Eye.
Finally, I beg and plead. I know some people don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she's great for radio. She produces stories once a week. And if we can just, I think some of you, if you could just set aside your own personal politics and stop trying to get her out of office, she really does deliver some real zingers each and every week. She's from Georgia. She's well known. She has a lot of beliefs. One of the beliefs 2 years ago is she has said that she was upset. She said that wealthy Jewish people were starting wildfires in California using space lasers. Now, some people said, Marjorie, do we have any evidence for this thing that you're saying? And she said, yes, that the Israelis and other wealthy Jewish people had donated money to build space lasers to start wildfires. And some people said, that sounds a little anti-Semitic. And she's like, anti-Semitic? How anti-America is it for them to use their space lasers to set our country on fire?
Yep.
Later on, people started to press her, and she said, you're just trying to make me look stupid. And they're like, no, we're asking you about the words that you spoke that made you look kind of stupid. Anyway, she said that she was firmly against space lasers. However, this week... Oh, she's always delivering, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to know.
There's something new. This week, she filed an amendment to fund space laser technology to stop immigration in the United States. She says America needs to take... Hold on, let's pull this right here. America needs to take our national security seriously and deserves the same type of defense for our border that Israel uses. She wants to use around $26 billion to help put together space laser technology to protect the southwest border. I believe she wants to pew, 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 shoot lasers from space at immigrants.
How accurate is that?
I don't know that we have this technology. I'm going to be honest with you right now.
Well,
I don't know that it
more.
exists.
She's in the government. She's got to know more.
She says that we can beam the sun's energy back to Earth, and it could be good for us. So she says, now she did add this. I'm fully against anti-Semitism. You're mixing two things together. You're accusing me of something I did not do, and then you're trying to blame me for anti-Semitism. So anyway, there we go. She says this has nothing to do with Jewish space lasers. Yeah. This has to do with good old-fashioned red, white, and blue American technology used to apparently shoot and incinerate people who are on the border.
Yeah.
But
AOC is dumb.
All right. Congratulations to Marjorie Taylor Greene, an American treasure. This one goes out to Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's called The Logical Song. Yeah. You feeling full flavored?
Yeah.
Are you okay, Bob?
I'm glad you.
I checked out, man.
Are you done with us?
I'm just going to cruise the rest of the show. You guys take control of the wheel.
Can I apologize on behalf of the listeners who were taking Monday shots at you?
No, it's all right, man.
Can I apologize on behalf of Chuy, who took one too many shots?
I take it too far.
No, it's all right. I don't mind you guys.
We had a bit of an incident on Saturday.
We did?
Yeah. You guys got there a little after, but it was kind of funny.
Right.
So we had a live show that we did, and by the way, thank you to all the listeners who showed up on Saturday for the live show, 420 at 420. We tried to bring a little bit of a 420 flavor into it. Bob and I obviously not big 420 dudes, but of course, Chuy certainly is.
It was a national holiday for him.
It was. We should have smoked more.
Chuy said he got nervous. We did. There was a little bit of smoking that happened on stage. You guys, it was funny to me because I thought for sure, Chuy, you would be the guy who was the most into it, and you got really paranoid about it.
Because I actually am smoking and have weed on me and stuff. And for y'all, it's just like a fake thing. So, yeah, I get a little nervous.
What weed did you have? I thought it was some Delta 80 stuff.
No, I had my own stuff I was about to roll up.
Yeah.
I was thinking about smoking it in there, too.
We had fun. We tried to make pipes out of hot dogs. And we got Sawyer Stoll to smoke weed. We made a joint holder. That one did not work very well. We did make a pipe out of a hot dog. Eventually got it. And then my favorite part about Sawyer was that after he smoked weed from the hot dog, he ate the hot dog.
Yeah.
And I feel like, has Bobby Flay done that? Has Bobby Flay made a joint hot dog yet?
Not once.
Has Guy Fieri?
You pronounce it like a T.
Has Mario Batali done that? Giada De Laurentiis?
Possibly.
Possibly, I would imagine.
Possibly.
I bet she's dirty. All that stuff that came out when she was in Vegas hooking up with dudes.
Yeah.
Going to Plowtown.
Yeah.
Good for her. Good for you, Giada.
Damn.
Problem with that hot dog thing is that it kept collapsing on itself.
Yeah,
we couldn't get the portal. We couldn't get the. We need, like you said, who said we needed one of those boba straws?
Yeah.
To core. You used a regular drinking straw to kind of core out. What kind of wiener was it anyway? I didn't even notice.
Hebrew National.
Yeah, it's pretty good structure.
It's a solid.
It's got more structure than a ballpark.
I went with full bun length too, so that he could hold it up with the bun and still get his lips
but
wrapped
it kept
around
collapsing.
that sweet wiener.
The loose meat on the inside kept collapsing on
I just wish this was a state with logic, and we could have just smoked bong hits on the stage, and Bob could have smoked legally on stage.
I don't know that would work. You were already pretty high.
Cop.
You were pretty high and pretty quiet.
No, here's the thing: is that I went to go smoke before the show. I time it out. Like
Not
I
once.
Do here.
You didn't go once because like 4 or 5 times I would look for you and you kept disappearing outside.
I did go once. I was just, I guess, out there. I was talking to a fan, and then I smoked with a fan, and then I think he smoked most of the joint, and then someone was going to close the door, and then I ran in, and so I only took like a couple. I didn't time it out. I didn't do everything the way I should have for 420. I failed 420, I think.
Well, here's my issue. Not an issue. It all worked out. Things worked out great. And I think that you guys liked the set, didn't you, that we had there?
Nice.
I can't even express how much I really love that set. And
It
how
was really
done.
rooms to go looking.
I wish we could get like our regular live podcast set to be like that. Like
Well,
talk show
we
setting.
might be able to. We had a very nice set. We had a very nice velvet sofa. We had some chairs. We had and I got to say thanks to everyone who's part of the Moon Tower team for getting it set up for us, because that was not the original set that we had when I showed up. I showed up a little early, and when I did,
What do we have?
well, I'm going to show you a picture of how it was originally set up, because I was so confused by it. Because I was like, I don't even understand. We're not the first like podcast group that's ever done a panel or a talk at the festival.
Was it a circular table?
And I've never seen anything set up like this
What was
before.
up there? An Iron Maiden? What was so out of place?
So this was the original set. Are you ready? Da, 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 da. Please, gentlemen, turn your attention. And then, Bob, you're pretty good at describing things. Do you want to describe to the listener?
I would normally if I was part of the show today.
That was the original set.
That looks like a
that
Senate
was on the
hearing.
stage.
It looks like
That's a Senate hearing.
It's kind of a boxing conference.
Why would the tables be split?
So there are two what we refer to as prize tables in this building, magical prize tables of wonder. And they're covered with like a nice covering and then a moon tower
banner.
But they look like the kind of table you sit behind if you're at Comic-Con and you're charging $20 to sign headshots.
It's like a panel. It's kind of panel-y.
And the chairs that are behind them are
folding chairs, just metal.
They're not
folding
even
chairs.
No, they're not even folding chairs.
No?
Those kind of metal banquet chairs you have at a bad hotel if you're going for some kind of award ceremony, maybe. And when I showed up, I didn't want to be impolite, but when I looked at that set, and they're like, "How does that look to you?" I said, because it didn't look right to me at all.
No, last year, didn't we just have stools?
We did. We had stools
I don't
last
mind.
year.
I don't mind. The stool thing is a little more, that's almost like a barrier between you and the audience. Right?
That's what it felt like. And also I said, well, we're a 3-person show and then we have a 1-person guest coming out. And then how do I divide?
Yeah,
how
put
do
Bob on that other table.
Well,
nobody likes him
my
anyway.
thought was, I'm here early.
I'm taking myself down now.
Yeah.
I thought I'm here
Feels
early,
good.
so it's going to really fall to me as to maybe how we set this up. And in my mind, I thought, well, how do I divide us as a group onto 2 tables?
Yeah. I guess we didn't specify, so it's on us.
Well, no, I sent in a thing, and I wasn't, and I thought, you know what, I started to feel very guilty because it did come to me. The email came to me about, what they call an advance. If you don't know this because you're not in the business, I fully understand. There's a thing called advance. Hey, will you please help advance your show? And what they want to know is requests that you have.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like a rider.
And I was pretty open. I just said, hey, what we had last year worked great. And I said, we want to be easy on you guys. Because what I meant was we don't need anything complicated.
But we don't need a barrier between us and the audience. We don't need, it's not, like I said, a Senate hearing. And it's so funny because I told Melissa, because I sent her an itinerary, and I was like, oh, and by the way, because, I didn't know, she probably had thinking about what she was going to wear or whatever. And I said, hey, we're probably going to be on high stools.
Right.
We'll each have a mic.
And I even said to you, hey, make sure you let Melissa know high stools. So she probably doesn't want to wear a dress. She want to wear pants or something, right?
Right. So, but I said that not even really knowing.
Well,
I just assumed that it was going to be like the comedy club or like last year. It's nothing wrong. I mean, listen, it is what when I walked into the building, I saw you carrying a plant. You didn't hurt yourself, did you?
No, but I do want...
I saw you carrying furniture, and I was like, no, Matt Bearden doesn't need to carry furniture.
I do want to... I found out what the problem was.
What the problem is? What the problem is, Matt?
Because, you see, please send over your tech needs ASAP. Fill in the below. On-site podcast contact. On-site contact cell. Additional credentials needed, right? So, will the show be recorded? So,
This is the problem. When we have to stop. That's the problem.
Why? You're pointing at the word podcast.
Podcast means table. Podcast doesn't mean stool. Podcast means guys sitting around a table yucking it up.
I appreciate that you say that.
I've always called our show a variety show.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
There were 4 or 5 podcasts, and none of them had tables.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe in this case the person thought that, but I think it's a misnomer.
They did because I sent over something. Here's where I want you to pay attention.
Okay.
Keep reading down that list of things that they want to know about and see if you can't figure out why we ended up with a set that did not work.
I see it.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
What do you see?
How many 6-inch tables?
Right.
That's the inch sign, not the foot sign.
So if you think 6-inch tables, what do you think, if you're me, what do you think?
Probably little coffee stands, little things you could
put
set
a drink
your
on.
drink on.
A drink table.
Like a sit.
Last year when we were sitting there, we
that
had these
would
little...
even be small for a drink table.
We had a little thing that would hold a drink.
Right.
And I thought, well, that must be what the drink tables are, the 6-inch tables.
Yeah, it's a Spinal Tap thing.
It is an absolute 100% Spinal Tap moment. Because what they meant was how many 6-foot tables do you need? I wrote back and said, we'll need 4 chairs and 2 6-foot tables. So guess what they did? They gave us exactly what we asked for, except what I wrote back was, we'll need 2 6-inch tables. See right there? 2 6-inch tables should suffice.
So you copied what they said. But see, I blame the Texas schools. I'm not sure they teach kids inches and feet signs like anymore. Like that.
I didn't learn.
I think you have to spell it out. I don't think they know that 1 hash mark is feet, 2 hash marks is inches, because first of all, that's counterintuitive.
You learn
that's more
shop.
hash marks for less.
Everybody
things.
should take shop, right?
Shouldn't an inch be 1 hash mark and a foot 2 hash marks?
Yes. Or
it's counterintuitive.
Or we just write inch and foot.
Right.
In something like
Which
that.
In a contract you probably should.
It's kind of funny because this is a Spinal Tap moment. Spinal Tap decided to do Stonehenge.
Yes.
And they
drew it on a map. They drew it on a napkin.
And then what did they write on the napkin?
I think it was supposed to be 12 feet tall, and they put 12 inches.
Right. And so in the middle of Stonehenge, little people come out and dance around tiny 12-inch tall Stonehenge monuments.
Well, they get lowered from the... Actually, it's funny because they get lowered from the ceiling.
So now, when I got there, I said, is there any way maybe we can change the stage? And I think I immediately came off as a problem, like a prima donna, because they said, okay, well... What about the stage doesn't work? I said, it just...
Everything?
I said, it doesn't really work for our needs. And they said, well, did you advance? And I said, I did. I just wasn't really expecting this. And they said, well, we matched your advance. And I could tell that they weren't being defensive, but I would think that what they were trying to do is to say, hey, if there's a problem, it's not on us. It's on you. And I said, well, it may be on me, and that's fine. And I'm trying to ask politely. I just that when I'm here, my gut is telling me this is not going to work for our show.
Right.
We would need something a bit more pleasant. We also have a woman who's starring in the #1 movie in the country this weekend, and I don't really want to put her at one of these chairs. And lo and behold, the lucky thing happened. Closing night party was happening in that same room that night.
Yeah.
And as we were standing there, all of a sudden the door swung open. And rental crews were bringing in all this furniture. And I was like, wait, what is this furniture for?
Plants and
they said, well, that's for, we're going to, don't worry, it won't be distracting. We'll cover all that up with blankets and you won't even notice it. It'll be way over in the corner. I said, well, no, can we use some of that? We got a very nice woman who agreed to let us use it, which I was very excited.
At no cost to us, right?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Now, apparently we did cause problem because I guess somebody else from the Paramount came in and saw we were on that furniture and lost their mind. They were very unhappy. They were angry.
Well, they're going to be angry when they find all that weed that Melissa spilled.
They thought
there was weed falling out of her joint.
They thought we just took the furniture without asking. Luckily, Dustin was there, and he said, no, we checked with, and this is who was okayed it. And they said, no problem.
It looked great.
But for a moment,
it looked like a show. It looked like a panel.
It
looked
really good, didn't it?
Like a Hollywood Johnny Carson kind of situation.
Who was going to use the couch? Was it a big name?
No. It was being used for the after party. But the thing is that everything is the last thing they wanted was to have us spill something on there. You know what I mean? They thought we just took something out of just decided to. Like we were a couple of lunatics, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody knows necessarily who we are at that moment.
No, why would anyone know who we are?
But what I liked is that this all came from the fact, because when I started looking for it, all of a sudden I go, oh, Dustin. Because Dustin was helping us out as well. And I said, Dustin, I'm not trying to be an a-hole. He goes, no, we'll get you, because Dustin and I are friends. I said, I feel like a real a-hole right now. I feel uncomfortable asking because somebody already took the time to set the stage for us.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was looking at my email. I go, oh, my God, Dustin, I know what the problem is.
6 inches. 6
I
inches
asked
is
for
the problem.
2 6-inch tables because I was thinking, I'll just put them in between the chairs. And he said, yeah, that's exactly the problem. We wrote down inches, and it's supposed to be
But
foot.
they originally wrote down inches.
Exactly.
You just copied.
I thought I made the mistake. Then I looked at it and I go, no. The original email says 6 inch.
I don't blame you. I want to thank you for what I was like. I felt guilty when I walked in. I was there an hour early, and you were like, you shouldn't, a man of your stature, shouldn't be carrying a palm tree on your back.
My stature is 5'10", and I absolutely should be carrying palm trees on my back.
But it looked great. The lighting was great. Everything was good.
I like
Thanks
the
for
late
doing
night
that
talk
for
show
us.
feel.
It felt really good.
If that was your decision or whatever, I like that. I wish we could do that.
I don't think the stage is big enough at Cap to do that, though.
Absolutely, we can figure out ways to make it.
Maybe a love seat, not a sofa.
But we'll have to start doing is we have to start going to like TJ Maxx and stuff and finding that furniture, and then we'll have to buy it and store it somewhere.
And when are we I know it's a little early to be talking about the next show, but
it is a little early.
Late summer, right?
Probably something like
and
that.
And then a Christmas.
Big thanks to those of you who did
Thank
show
you, guys.
up.
It was a nice looking
I'm glad
crowd.
that you got to see us on sofas and not behind giant, long, 6-inch tables.
It is for us to say.
It is for us to say. Now, this morning, Bob Fonseca was accused of being a little short with a listener. And Bob says, that's not my brand. That's not my brand.
I'll go out of my way.
He pays a lot of... He has a team to work on his image and everything. He pays a lot into PR.
Pay a lot of money to a PR
Now, after our live show, I hung around, took pictures with some listeners, chatted with some listeners. Bob, did you hang out with listeners after the show?
Yeah, I talked to some. I had a lot of people, though, that were in my friend circle that I had to,
You had to what?
go up to and thank and things like that. But I saw Rita.
Oh, so you didn't really make time for the listeners?
No, I saw our fans.
Oh, I do want to thank you, Kyle, Celestia, Adria that came out.
Adria, I hugged Adria.
Our good friend Lauren,
I don't know if I
Gammon,
was allowed
the
to do
Gammons, everybody. Aaron, so many people showed up. Thank you all. I didn't get to thank any of them, but continue.
Right.
No, it's something I've always taken a little bit of pride in about us, is that we do take that. I think all three of us are very aware of how important the listeners are to our success and our continued employment.
And it's mainly because our company keeps reminding us we're nobody. So we take that we take that to heart, and we want to thank them for keeping us grounded in that way.
They really have kept us grounded, haven't
right?
they? When you go,
I
had to go to another station. I'm not going to mention it for something. And when I went in, I noticed that all of their morning show personalities, there's these big posters in the lobby of them, and it's just like home of. And
now, when we got the #1 ratings last week, I mean, the amount of handshakes we had to do down here.
Well, I shook your hand and you shook my hand. That was quite nice. I do appreciate that. It was nice to do.
So I feel like we're grounded as a show.
Yeah. Now, Mike,
I don't think we walk around.
Mike from Round Rock says
air.
you were a little short with him.
That's what he said.
Now, I was leaning into teasing you, but I think I also know what happened. I think he came up to you while the band was on stage, and we are very, very... We're very aware of public perceptions at time, and the last thing you want is to have people from a band go, yeah, I saw Bob from Fonseca, and he talked during our entire set.
Well, yeah, yeah.
No, I know exactly.
But it's also difficult. You know what it's like when you're in a crowded, and I've had people come up to me at comedy shows.
Thousands of club nights.
I've had people come up to me at comedy shows, and they're like, hey, are you Matt from the radio, and chat a little bit, and then I kind of you have to find that fine line between, hey, I want to talk to you, but also we're literally at a comedy showroom, and you're talking at kind of a loud volume, and there's somebody on stage.
Yeah, right.
And what's going to happen, I know what's going to happen, is you'll see on Reddit the next day where somebody's like, I won't even listen to that shit. That guy thinks he's so cool. He talked during my friend's set the other night. And so you got to be, I think you were trying to say hi to this guy and acknowledge his existence, but also be polite to the band.
Well, it's also very difficult to have a meaningful conversation when you're shouting each other's ears. What did you say? King Kong balls? I thought you said ping pong balls.
Quail eggs? I thought you said whale eggs.
So I don't know.
What should they expect, though, from a Bob Fonseca? I mean, I feel like, depending on the environment, I mean, there's a guy at the gym that's a fan, daps me up every time. I love it, We don't have to have long conversation. You don't have to tell me everything.
I had people dab. I was at water. Let me tell you what I did.
Tell them.
Okay?
Tell them.
I couldn't fully do Record Store Day on Saturday. It's one of my favorite days of the year where I get in line with Vinyl Joe and a couple of his friends, and we stand in line at Piranha Records for like 4 hours, 5 hours, and wait for the store to open at 10 o'clock. We get there like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and just wait, and we go in and buy records. Okay? I did not, and because of the show, because of the Moon Tower show, I didn't want to spend
time talking to anyone?
No. I didn't want to
say hi to any of our listeners?
I didn't want to burn myself out by waiting in line before I had to perform or whatever. So I called Vinyl Joe early in the morning and I said, hey, man, I'm not going to make it. I'm also a little under the weather for some reason. I don't know, it's allergies or whatever. I said, but he said, "Well, you have a list. You have a couple things you want, and I'll pick them up for you." And I gave him a very short list, and he got them for me. And so I met him at Piranha, and I got to talk to John. But I walked that whole line, and that line went down a strip center, around the side of the strip center, and all the way back up the strip center. It was like almost a 360. That's how many people there were.
Were Booker and Alex showing up there or something? Why such a line long on people?
And because I wasn't in line, I walked that whole line and talked to several people that were fans of the show and all that.
Selective.
And I sat and I stopped and talked to them, and I was like,
if
hey,
they looked wealthy,
what's on your list? You know, you think you'll get it? Whatever. I talked to some people I talked to so many people. I'm not that. That's not my brand, is to shut somebody down.
I bet one of the names wasn't Round Rock Mike.
Oh yeah, he's from there.
Somebody come to my defense.
Nobody
These
genuinely
assholes won't do it. Somebody come to my defense.
We just came to your defense and said, I think what happened was, I think a band was playing, and you were like, this is not the time to be yapping and get called out for it.
This bit would
so
not
you probably
keep going.
just like, you were probably like, hey, what's up? And he probably said, man, big fan.
I feel
and
like you guys
said, oh, cool.
drew me
and
into this bit, and you started defending me, and now you're going back the other way. And I was like, I walked that entire line. It was probably 100 yards of people. I don't know how many people were in that line at 10 o'clock in the morning. And several people, I didn't recognize them because I don't know every listener, but several people, and I stopped and talked, and, felt good about it. And then Vinyl Joe came out with my records, and I forgot to get one. There was one I forgot.
What did you end up getting this year?
Questionable. Well, I got 2 George Harrison special edition, numbered editions.
Okay.
A Joe Strummer record that hadn't been on vinyl in a long time, X-Ray Rock.
What was that Pink album you got?
That was the X-Ray Rock.
Okay.
That was Joe Strummer.
That's the only one I didn't really recognize.
And then a Thin Lizzy, a new cut from their Live and Dangerous tour from Hammersmith, double. And I didn't have a copy of Elton John's Caribou, and that was kind of it's sold out. I'm not a big fan of Caribou, but I didn't have it, so I got that. Why not?
Okay. Do we have a caller?
It's an acquired taste.
But
we do. I'm scared to go.
Man, me too.
Let's go to Aaron. Aaron.
Hello.
Hi, Aaron. What's up?
Hey, I just wanted to encourage everyone to go out and early vote today and vote to turn around the Eanes ISD School District with a new trustee.
Got the right station?
A guy with CEO experience, almost 30 years of CEO experience.
Sir, do you have the right station?
Tell us who to vote for.
Yeah, I vote for Aaron Silva. That's who you need to vote for.
You're running?
I'm running.
Sir, we have to give people the same amount of time. We can't let you go further. Now I got to invite your opponent.
Please invite them.
No, that's boring. This was boring.
I don't even think you called the right station. This is not the topic we're on right now.
Oh, I must have missed the topic.
Now I have to go for the other guy.
We have to do paperwork now, right?
I'm going to endorse the other guy just to make it even.
No, which show were you calling, sir?
I thought I was calling the local Austin station.
No, I know, but which show?
There's a lot of them.
The one with Brad Swale on it.
Yeah, you're on with Brad Swale. Any questions for me?
Oh, no, my question was to make sure people get out and vote.
All right, well.
Who the F is Brad Swale?
I don't even
Is
know.
he even in this market?
Sir, you called the number one morning show.
You really
in
did.
The city, right? And this is not what we're talking about. We don't talk politics.
A slight misfire, Aaron.
So if
not even know the name of the show.
If you're this out of touch, sir,
put your campaign
what
manager.
Does this say about your? What does this say about your campaign and about where you're going?
Can we talk to your campaign manager?
Put your manager on the phone, Aaron.
Him or her?
He hung up.
No, he's still here.
He's gone.
Your citizens are listening.
He realized he just faux pod.
Oh,
did he?
boy.
Is this a Fox Pass?
He hung up just now.
He did hang up.
How do you go around saying you're enlightened or you're?
I don't even know. What's he running for?
He said
dog catcher now.
he said he's gonna
What the
turn
hell?
around the Eanes ISD school district. You mean the #1 school district in Central Texas? How are they turning it around?
I don't know.
He's going to get rid
Better
of
football
the,
team?
The CRT.
Oh, is that what?
I
Hold
don't
on,
know.
let's see.
Look him up. Aaron Sola?
Silva.
Silva, that's what it was.
Aaron Silva, Eanes ISD.
See, sometimes I guess everybody's just stepping in it today.
Aaron
That guy's not going to
Silva.
like our show anymore.
I don't think he doesn't even know who we are.
I want to look up who is Brian Swell.
Who's Brian? That's not even KLBJ AM, is it?
No.
The Eanes School District has asked Aaron Silva to stop using their logo as his campaign logo. They argued his logo gave the false impression that it had endorsed Silva, while Silva said he was just trying to make it clear which office he was running for.
It was his name on the caller ID, too, so that was really that dude.
I don't see a
He might be a good
personality.
dude. I don't know. I don't know anything about Silva.
He needs to do his research, but
I would say if you're going to call, sir,
with all due respect,
with all due respect,
Your Honor,
#1 show in town, #1. And we asked,
we got the documents
I
to
just
prove
wanted
it.
you to say which show. If you had said, well, it's the show I listen to every
we
morning.
hear you out.
Mornings with Matt and Bob. Powered, like that would be the minimum amount of research you could do before you cold called us.
I'm sorry if I yelled at you, sir, but this is what you got to get
I'm
used
sorry
to.
if I called you out, sir, but I cannot find this person that you say is on the radio.
It's politics. We yell now, sir.
There is no Brian Swale.
How do you
in the
spell
city?
it?
I don't think of. Have you ever heard of Brian Swale in the city?
I don't know, but he's sounding more and more out of touch. I hope he wins. Who's his opponent?
I thought that's not a commentator on the AM, is it?
No.
He didn't even get the call letters right.
I literally do not know.
You get a pass if it's KLBJ AM
No.
because there is call letter confusion.
No, but here's what happened. He asked somebody, will you get me all the phone numbers to the morning shows? And he just is sitting there randomly. He's robocalling them kind of, and he's just saying, hey, let's get out there and vote for me early. Now, here's what I will say. He's saying reward great teachers with $100,000 paychecks.
Oh, I'm for that.
End multi-million-dollar deficits and be more efficient with expenses. Protect property taxpayers from future misuse of bond debt. Take Eanes to the next level of excellence. I mean, that's for the Eanes folks. That's for them. I mean, I can't speak to it because I'll never live in the Eanes district. You know what I mean?
Never say never.
I will never make enough money to live in the Eanes district. It's Westlake and Cuernavaca, right? Is there anybody else in Eanes?
Yeah. I don't know. It sounds like
I wonder who this magical radio personality is.
You're never going to find Brian Swale because I've been working in this. I've never
heard that name.
I called it district. I've been working in this. What do you call it? Market for 15 years. I never heard the name Brian Swale.
I don't know. I don't think the things he's talking about is accomplishable.
Here's what I'll say. Right now, Catherine Walker and Kelly Marwill are both doing they're
doing a dance, right?
Spiking the ball.
We got a break, but Helmu, I want to go to you. Who is this?
Is this Dial a Trade?
This is Dial a Trade. What's up? What would you like to do?
I've got some memorabilia for this Aaron Silva guy I've got for sale.
Okay.
Good. Vote Aaron Silva.
What's your memorabilia? No.
Oh, dude.
All right.
It's Brad.
All right. Thank you, Helmet.
Hang on a second. It's coming.
It's Brad.
It's Brad, not even Brian, and he's a podcaster. I think.
What?
I'm glad.
Here's Brad Swale.
Some intern's getting fired there.
On
Bradley.
Austin City Councilman podcast. What the hell is that?
We got a break.
All right, break. Fine, break.
All right, everybody.
Sorry. Just trying to do the Lord's work out here and get out the vote.
Sorry, Lord.
Go ahead, Chuy. Right. Tell us what to do.
We gotta
come back in. We're Mornings with Matt and Bob. We're powered by Chuy, and we like to bring you any kind of cutting edge technology, anything that's happening out there. This is a tech city, right? Whether you want it to be or not, you can't slow down the tech that is happening here. You walk downtown right now, and you look left, what are you going to see? Tech. You look to your right, what are you going to see?
Tech.
That's right. Just
Tech everywhere. Tech here, tech
Maybe
there.
homeless.
You get some tech.
And what's on the horizon? Is it the brand new phone? Is it a chip we're going to put in our brains?
No,
my
one of the
friends.
rumors is that the iPhone. Well, it's not going to happen with the. Where are we at right now? 14 on the iPhone.
15, I think.
I need to catch up.
Is it?
Is it the 15?
It looks like the
14?
16 may have all the buttons removed. There will no longer be buttons. Like I feel like I want more buttons.
My wife had that done.
Did she? She had all her buttons removed? I don't know. I'm tired of trying to. I'm not a big. Have you guys adopted any of that talkie technology?
Like Siri?
I've got Siri, but the most I need from Siri is in the morning because I'm usually late. What time is it? And what's the weather today? That's pretty much. It doesn't turn on my lights.
Literally.
It doesn't turn on my TV.
My dream last night was
I don't do any of that voice activation. It comes on stereo equipment now. It comes on blenders, refrigerators. It's like, why?
My dream last night was that my wife put a funnel into our transmission and then filled the transmission with water, thinking she was helping on my truck.
Okay, that's a nightmare.
And I was very upset because I was like, honey, no. And she was like, don't you have to put water in these holes to keep the car from overheating? And I was like, but you don't put water in the transmission.
Goes in the...
And I was trying to figure out, am I doomed already? Can I drain the transmission and flush? I was trying to figure out how to fix it quickly. And I kept trying to type in stuff about transmission water and transmission fluid, but my phone wouldn't take, and I kept typing incorrectly.
Yeah.
So in my dream, I was trying to use Siri, but I didn't. It was at a place where all these dudes were hanging out working on cars, and I did not want them to hear what my problem was because I didn't want all the dudes telling me what their advice was. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I didn't want to have 40 guys going, here's what you got to do, bro. Here's what you do. No, here's what you do. So that was my weird dream last night.
I mean, I'm behind the time. I mean, I guess none of us have, but I know people that have every light in their house is able to be on voice command. How do you do that? How does that shouldn't be like it feels like that should be that should be the minimum we should have at this point. In 2024, that should be in every house.
Quick question.
But you got to have somebody come and wire that up.
Honest question. Do they use it or did they enjoy putting it all together?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? I feel
know.
like whole smart house thing is the kind of thing that men like to read about while they're taking a deuce. You're on your phone and you read about home automation.
Then you price it out.
You put it together. Well, you could do it by yourself even through Home Depot.
I guess every light has to have every light bulb has wireless in it.
You
I
can
think
do it
that's what
that
they
way,
do.
or you can do like there's a thing that came in my house when I bought it called Casita or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's
I don't even know.
or Cassetta or so. I don't know. Well, because the people that moved took the hub out of the house, so it doesn't work.
Okay.
But I could go buy the hub for $100 or something and put it in there if I wanted to and reprogram it. I just don't have an interest in having my lights. I don't need to be able to look at my phone and tell my phone to turn down the lights.
Apparently, I'm frustrated talking to people.
It's a 1,500 square foot home. If I can't get up and turn on the lights, I've done something wrong with my life.
Right. I don't know. I just feel guilty that I'm not harnessing,
I'm not ready
utilizing
for the metaverse.
all of the technology that we have. Somebody's doing it, but it must come at great expense. To have, you know what I mean? I mean,
everything takes a hit with progression. There's something.
I mean, you
something
should be able to completely operate your TV with your voice.
If you're a single man.
You should completely be able to operate every light, every electrical outlet in your house with a voice.
If you're a single man. All that stuff, that's bachelor stuff. When you go...
Your
Siri,
toaster,
when
your
you
refrigerator.
Go, Siri, relaxation mode, and then the lights go down, and then the LED neon comes up behind the TV, and then the music starts playing some F music. That's because you want to impress a lady.
But then there are
But even then, I think that lady's going to go, oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Isn't there a refrigerator that tells you if you're on like you can ask it if
do I have any milk left?
Yeah, is there any milk left? Or is it or
You
whatever?
Can keep track, yeah. But now I don't enunciate, so
Well, that's where my frustration would be is when the commands aren't working. You have to know very specific commands.
they better leave some manual options, some analog options.
Every TV comes with voice activation now.
There better be
every
a
home
still.
theater system comes with home activation. You can get a television.
New
You can get
gaming consoles are all.
You can get a toaster that has a vertical screen at the end of one end of the device. Why do we need all this? You don't. I want more buttons on my iPhone, not less. I want a volume control. I want a wheel on the side for volume. How many times have you gone for the volume control in the dark and you've gone up instead of down?
I think that we've gone all wrong in the direction that we're going in. I think that Tesla has ruined the car experience for everybody. Because Tesla came out with the single iPad in the middle of the car.
Yeah.
And now everybody's going there. I don't want to have to look at a screen while I'm driving. I don't. When I'm driving, right now I can reach over in my truck with the old effing quarter of a century old analog panel, and I can turn on the AC, and I know exactly how the AC is set without ever looking at it because my hands know 4 clicks to the right or 4 clicks to the left. There's only 2 clicks up top if I want air coming in or I want to recirc.
Let's go back with hard buttons for the for the radio.
I want everything to have I want a tactile button on everything.
I'm different. I want to text the whole time I'm driving, and I do.
Well, good luck with that.
Why are you texting while you're driving?
It's easy.
No, it's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it's 5 more seconds at the green light. I'm sorry.
Did people ever honk at you?
It's so infuriating when in this town where it's already too much traffic, when I see a left-hand light turn, and it takes 5 seconds for the first car to move,
right,
and then the second car wasn't, and it is so
I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it.
We should be a team working together like the military, and when the light changes, no matter where you are in the light, everyone should take their foot off of the brake at the same time and then to the accelerator, and we should move in one human centipede chain through the light. Let's get some people places.
I agree.
Now I sound like a grumpy old man.
I am that way. I joke, but I want everybody to move at the same time, especially.
But you're on your phone texting.
But I'm that good.
Do you even have Alexa at your house, Chuy?
No.
In the kitchen? Mm-mm. We have one in the kitchen now. I used to have them in every room. I used to try to wake up. Remember when my wife would be out of town on business, and I would have to, because I'm here early, I would have to try to wake up my kids for school with an Alexa.
I remember that. Look,
they just unplugged it.
I live in an apartment. Everyone's already listening to everything I say.
Yeah, I don't want. I turn all the Alexa speakers and everything. Anything that comes like the television with it pre-programmed. Yeah. I make sure to disable it. I just don't. I mean, I know that it's not going to change because I still carry a phone. You can still track information on me. I don't believe that I'm going to live off the grid.
Right.
But I am annoyed that I don't get paid for how much information you're taking from me.
Well, that's true.
And the Alexa,
I never looked at it that way.
Alexa is on at all time listening, and unlike the reason Siri is so bad is it saves no information about you. So every query is a brand new query and has no information on you. Alexa's better because it stores all your information. So it knows everything about you. That's why it's better. But it also has built up a pretty dense file on you. And that seems, I don't know, just slightly weird and creepy. Because I have no control over it. All right.
Let's take a caller then. Jeremy.
Hello?
Hi, Jeremy. What office you running for, Jeremy?
I'm running for no office.
Okay. What's up, man?
Hey, I wanted to just speak on whenever you were talking about the lights.
Yeah.
Yes.
I find that I used to live in an apartment where I had access on my phone to unlock my door, to turn on the lights, turn on the kitchen lights and all that. I kind of find it real useful because, you're in bed, you accidentally left the kitchen light on, you easily turn it off, or, you forgot to lock the front door, you're in a rush, boom, get to lock the door while you're on the road.
So it was positive for you?
Yeah, it was real positive for me. It gave me notifications when somebody, was opening the door, all types of good stuff.
I always think I leave the stove or oven on. And so I wish if you could alleviate my worries there, then I'm in.
Yeah, are you in an apartment now that has all that stuff?
No, I've moved from that apartment now. But
so do you miss it, or are you fine without it?
I'm fine without it. I'm through without it.
All right. How much was your rent?
I was in a 1-bedroom. I was paying about like $13.
All right. Yeah, that's what I'm paying. All right.
Well, no, you don't think that it's all price locked, right? Yeah, or whatever. What do they call that?
What are you paying right now, dude?
Everybody agrees on the same.
I'm paying about 17 because I got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah. What's up, player?
They don't need to charge that much. Those
What's
damn
up,
crooks.
player?
Stupid system.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
had to upgrade. Family grew up a little bigger, so.
I hear you.
All right. Well,
I hear
good,
you,
man. Good.
Talk
All right,
to you
man.
later.
Thank you,
Take
guys.
care, bro.
That's one vote for positive for lights controlled by phone.
And rent control if we could.
You don't
Please.
want rent control.
That sounds like I do.
I mean,
You should be grandfathered in.
here's the benefit of rent control when you get into the rent control, but it's going to raise everybody else's rents outside of that.
That's
the
fine. They
issue.
have the money.
They do? Wait, everybody else has the money but you?
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
I saw this guy touring one of those condos that's like, what, $17,000 a month? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's not every dude in the city, though.
Are you guys pricing what a condo or what a studio at UT costs?
What
I
a
would
studio
never
at UT costs.
You know how they have all those big towers? They have all these. When I went to UT, it was Castilian, Dobie Mall,
And
or
then campus.
Chester.
Yeah.
And if you weren't living there, or where you lived, which was, the hippie dippies
co-ops?
lived. The co-op.
co-ops. I looked at the
But
co-ops
now
'cause they
there are
were
these
cheap,
high
dude.
rises,
The co-ops were really cheap when I went to school. That's why I lived
Right.
there. They were ridiculously cheap.
But now they all, on West Campus, they have all these high rises.
Right.
And that's where the kids want to live.
And how much are those?
That's where Evan wants to live his senior year. I think it's like $2,000 for a studio.
That's stupid.
No, I know, but that's.
The max with food plan should be what, $1,000
I don't even think
a
you
month?
get a food plan with that. I'm not even sure.
Well,
I'm not saying we're paying that, but I mean,
you need to tell your kid he's not going to school.
Yeah, go to ACC.
Tell him to go get a job.
ACC with
That's what
a
he needs to
job.
do.
That's
But have you
perfect.
seen these places?
You get a
Swimming
job.
pools. Do you have a swimming pool, Jester?
No. I didn't live at. I lived at.
I lived in Jester.
I lived at a co-op. You know what we had? Bongs in every room.
Yeah. There's gyms, movie theaters, Starbucks.
Yeah. Just a regular everyday.
And that's not even for the football. I don't even know how the football players are living.
I think they're probably living pretty good. But I don't know. Do all these dorm rooms have buttons that operate the lights? And
That
kinda
I don't
operate
know.
the
That-
lights and the lock from my
That
phone.
do your homework for you? I don't know.
I guess
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying is there was the promise of this future technology, and I don't understand really how it betters my life. Now, this guy said, hey, it was kind of cool, but to me, it just seems gimmicky, and it seems like extra S to break.
All the technology has created more work. Now I got to go on a website.
I want regular old-fashioned locks on my doors in my car, and I want to be able to wind the window down like this.
You know, we
I
sound
don't
like
like
Wilford Brimley when we
but-
say stuff like that.
But everything else breaks, I feel like.
I don't know.
I feel like I can't rely on those center screens to get me through to where
I think the
gotta
opposite.
go. Really?
When I look at car design now, having lived in a Tesla for 3 years now, every day, when I look at other car designs, I go, oh, that button, those 5 buttons you have on the door and those 12 buttons you have under the radio and all that climate, that's just stuff to go, that's stuff to break.
How
That's
can
more
you,
stuff to
can
break.
You, but can you change anything from that screen without looking at that screen? You
Yeah, I
can't
mean,
because
it's
there's
the
no
same
tactile.
thing.
No, you can't feel. You can't feel.
Well, but
you don't know about
positioning.
the,
It's ergonomic. It's relative positioning.
except you have to hit one button to say AC, and you have to hit another button
I hear what
to
you're
hear.
saying. I hear what you're saying, but
Thank
I think
you.
if you drove it, you would get used to it. But I look at my car like, oh, there's a lot less mechanical stuff that's going to fail. There's somebody in the hallway.
I know there's somebody in the hallway.
We got a break anyway.
Are they talking about the carpet? Is somebody out there in the hallway
No, they're
talking about the
gathering.
carpet?
They like to clap when we leave, so.
Oh, they're gathering up to clap for
They're
us?
coming down to shake
Yeah,
our
we're
hands
taking a
for
while,
number one
so-
last.
Oh,
last-
okay. I'm
last
sorry. I
week.
didn't realize. Hey, folks, I'm sorry. We've got people in the hall waiting to clap for us. So we're going to step out there real quick and allow them to clap for us. We're Mornings with Matt and Bob. We're powered by Chewy.
We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Hey, Chewy, do you remember this morning when I said, hey, will you look and see what the giveaways are?
Yes.
What were they?
Texas Stars, and that's it.
Okay. Well, can you remind us that we got to give those away tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Thank you.